Hey, welcome back for day number 2 of the old book funnel blueprint. This is awesome. Yesterday we had, I'm trying to do it by memory. I sent you an email with it if you're on my list. 9,300 something. 9362 or something like that. Over 9,000 people tuned in yesterday, which is just killer, right? That's awesome. So much good feedback, a lot of good questions. It helped out a lot of folks, which was awesome. And that ain't nothing. So we're going to do even better today. So yesterday, we were really just laying the groundwork. I kind of gave you the big picture of, all right, man, here's kind of how these book funnels work and stuff. And we learned yesterday that it's, wow, you want this to be incredibly good. You want your book to be very, very good. A book funnel really serves the purpose of selling the main thing. Right? And so your main thing could be a professional service. It could be physically shipped goods. We talked about Bill Phillips' Body for Life book and how that book helped to grow EAS, which he sold for a couple $100 million, I think, something like that. Like really, really crazy amount of money. We talked about my friend and client, Lawrence Binsdorp, who has a book funnel, and it's just get a book and then talk to him and become a client of his for financial advice. And there's not even really any intermediary funnel at all, but that's his main thing, is that trading advice and stuff. So yesterday, like I said, we're talking about Book Funnel Blueprint, gave you the overview. We learned that while it's really important to have a good book, you can create your book by just recording a webinar to get those results in advanced concepts using the framework I taught you yesterday onto a recording, have it transcribed and edited. Now you got yourself a book. And we learned that the real thing is to sell the main thing, right? So we talked about the Bill Phillips. I talked to you about Lawrence Binsdorp. I talked to you about all of the internet people you know who sell like courses and stuff. So today we're going to focus on 2 things, all right? Today's going to be awesome. The first thing we're going to do right now is I'm going to give you the frameworks to create sales messages that sell your book and sales messages that you can use to sell your one-click upsells and even really your main thing. We're going to go over 2 frameworks. The long-form sales copy framework, which I've turned into an assembly line process for you. It's awesome. As well as the story-based VSL framework. So it's really, really sweet. So I guess we should go ahead and get cracking. Is everything working now? We good? I think that's a yeah. Yep. Okay. Yes, it's working. Aha. Ta-da! Jazz hands. All right. So let's see. Now I have to get into teaching mode. All right. So all right. Ready? Here we go. Now we're for real. Hey, welcome back. So in this module, we're going to talk about how to actually sell this stuff. And before we begin, yesterday I shared with you some numbers, and when we were talking about the concept of building assets, I got kind of lucky, and I showed you that, yesterday I said, man, look at this. We have had just the best luck ever. Now, of course, I've lost it on my screen here. Oh, there we go. Okay. We have had the best luck ever yesterday with our ad spend. So if you recall, you can show the, oh, there we go. Okay, yeah. So you might remember this from yesterday, right? I was like, dude, what you want is an asset where you put $1 in and you get more than $1 out. And I don't know if you remember this from yesterday morning, but this is a screenshot I took of my ad spend yesterday at like 6:30 in the morning or something like that. And I'm like, dude, look at this. We collected $684, and I showed you how where those two little arrows are pointing. The reason that 684 and not 393 is because ClickFunnels isn't counting those other 2 upsells for whatever reason towards the daily total. So it's 684 collected. And I showed you that we spent 173.12, and I was like, look, man, that's a fluke, right? That was like one of those rare moments when everything just lines up perfectly, and it happens to be awesome looking right before I go on camera. So that was, oh, here we go. I guess I should hit play on here. There we go. So that was a $511.28 profit, which is almost a 300% return on ad spend. So it's like you put $1 in, you get $3 out. And my point was, this is what we want to do. And I said, but look, it's not like that all the time. I don't always put $1 in and get $3 out at 6:30 in the morning on the same day. It varies, right? So I just want to show you kind of what's a little bit more common. Okay, so I went in about like 40 minutes ago and took screenshots of the sales, and this is from yesterday's sales for that same campaign. So you'll notice at the top there, this is a screenshot from ClickFunnels. It says 529 gross, and then my little collection or my little addition says $820 collected. That's because if you look right over there at those last 2 numbers in the green count column, the closed payment plan and video black box, those are $97 sales. Actually, those are on payment plans, so there are multiple payments in $97. ClickFunnels just doesn't count those first payments at all towards the total for whatever reason. So that's why it's $820 collected. That's for yesterday, and our total spend yesterday was $752.22. So this is a brand new campaign. It's a test campaign, and we still got money back on the same day. It just wasn't a 300% return. We got about a 9% return. And you know what? I'll take it. Because if you invest in stocks and you stick a dollar in, you usually wait an entire year and maybe you'll get $1.06 back. Well, we got $1.09 back within less than 24 hours. Now, what's really cool is something that I don't ever count. I consider to be a bonus. You see where it says $388 in payments coming in? That's because those last two upsells, the closed payment plan, that one is 3 payments of $97. So I only got my 1 payment of $97 yesterday. I still have 2 more. And then you see this video black box? That's 2 payments of $97. So I have a total of 4 more payments of $97 coming in, which is great. So that's actually another 51% return of pure net, which is awesome, right? So that'll come to me as well. So really I'm putting $1 in and I'm getting about $1.60 back in total, but I'm just getting $1.09 back in that same day. So that's long-term thinking. Now again, we ended up getting super lucky. Where's the numbers for you? Did I take the shot for you today? Oh man, I didn't. Oh, I just wanted to show it to you on my computer. Check this out, okay? So this is like real time right now. So here's my ads manager. So, okay, I'll refresh my screen, Facebook. Why do you want to give me problems, Mark Zuckerberg? Actually, I love Mark Zuckerberg because Facebook makes me a lot of money. So this is the campaign we're tracking, right? This is the new one. So if we add this together, it's 108 plus 184, 284 plus, let's just round it up to $300. Okay, so that's easier. It's a little less than $300, but we'll round it up. And here are the sales figures. I'll hit refresh to see if we get lucky here. Apparently, every time you hit refresh, you get money. Ah, it didn't work this time. Okay, so we got 436, but look, there's another one of those sales that doesn't count towards this total figure, so it's really 533. So I got 533 in. I've spent, what was it, 300? So I'm already up $233 in net profit. And I am doing math in my head on camera, which is, of course, one of the dumbest things you could possibly do. So just wanted to kind of give you that as an update, really take you behind the scenes and see how this stuff works. It goes up and down day to day, your return on investment on your ad spend. But over time, on average, typically, we average about 20 to 30 cents or 20 to 30% profit every day. When we spend $1 that day, we're going to get $1.30, $1.20 back that same day. And then as time progresses with payment plans and our main thing sales and all that and our Slack adjuster, like I showed you, the ROI just increases. So I know a lot of people don't really show you the inner workings. I figured I would because it's cool and it's fun, right? Okay, so now with that said, let us officially get cracking. So that's the wrong framework. I tell you what, I'm so used to having a giant monitor that this kind of is hard to do it on the small monitor. Okay, here it is. Now we go. All right, so let's get out of there. Now, here's what I want to show you. I want to show you how to use assembly line copy. Okay, so the concept of writing copy is really horrible to a lot of people. It's not fun. I know it's like we're supposed to make, it's easy, you just sit down and write a letter, but it's kind of notoriously horrible. People say, hey, Frank, you write pretty good copy. What's your process for writing copy? My process for writing copy is I'll pace around in circles and complain about it for about 90% of the time, and then that last remaining 10%, I'll actually sit down and write the copy. And so that was my copywriting process for years until I created this, which is the assembly line copy model. So my book letter, the way I sell my book is a long-form sales letter just to get a book for $5.60, downloadable book. The way I sell that is I actually wrote an honest-to-God sales letter. Now, people say, oh man, you did all of that just to sell a book? I'm like, yeah, you know why? Because 1 out of every 10 cold, total strangers who sees that letter ends up buying the book. And of course, they, as you just saw, a book buyer is worth typically around $40 to $50 right there in the same day. So of course, I'm going to go through that work, So let me show you how to do it, right? Because it's actually pretty simple. So, by the way, if you want these notes, like these little fill-in-the-blank thingies that I've got here on the screen, text the word notes to 858-239-1008. You'll get an automated reply that says, hey, are you sure we can text you these notes? You have to write back with yes, it's cool. And then kablam, we got you. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is you don't actually have to draw this out on a piece of paper or anything, but we've really got multiple sections of a sales letter within the assembly line, right? And our first part is going to be a headline. And we really have a lot of options. We could use my favorite headline formula ever is how to yay without boo. And that really means how to do something cool without having to do something that sucks. As a matter of fact, if you look at the book, so this is our main book right here in our book funnel. You can come back to me, OSD. Come on back there, buddy. There we go. It's how to yay, how to get consulting clients fast, yay, without boo, even if no one's ever heard of you, right? How to write good sales letters without pulling your hair out wondering what the hell to say. That would be another example, okay? So that's one formula. Another formula would just be a statement of the offer. Another formula would be a question of the pain. Another formula would be something called dog whistle. You know what? How about I show you some examples? So here's my sales letter for the book. And here's a classic how to sell high-ticket consulting services. That's how to yay without boo, even if no one's ever heard of you, right? The headline and the title is pretty much the same thing, which is pretty cool. Here's an example of straight statement of offer. This is for this book right here. You can come back to me, right? Now, this book is no longer on the market, but this was the headline for the sales letter that sold this book right here. And the headline for the sales letter said, free book reveals how to create internet campaigns that sell. Now, when I said free book, it was a free plus shipping offer. I don't really do that anymore. So if I were to redo the sales letter, I would change it. I'd say new book. Wow, change an entire word there. New book reveals how to create internet campaigns that sell. That's a classic statement of main benefit right there, right? It's like, boom, here it is. Okay, the next one is the question about pain, right? So that is here, are you tired of doctors who can't find out what's wrong with you? Right? Great headline. It's just calling right out to the person with a problem. So really, really simple. So this is a great headline formula. So if we were doing it in the marketing space, we would try something like, are you tired of Facebook strategies that seem to work for 4 days and then die? Or something like that, right? Or are you tired of internet gurus who can't seem to actually help you succeed online? Whatever, right? You got it. So that's another formula for a headline. Here's an example of what we call dog whistle. Right? If you have trouble sleeping, please read this. What that means, the term dog whistle, I learned from Dan Kennedy, who's a great teacher and pretty solid dude as well. What that means, the term dog whistle, is it's sort of a reference to those supersonic or subsonic or whatever whistles that only dogs can hear. So if we blow one of those in a crowded room, me and you're going to be like, why is that dude blowing into that weird tube thing? But if a dog was in there, he would hear it. It's just for him. Well, this copy is just for the person who has trouble sleeping. Right? And I love this, right? So if you have trouble making sales online, please read this. If you have trouble maintaining a good relationship, please read this. If your child is really smart but still failing in school, please read this. If you have trouble stopping overeating, please read this. You see, it's classic, very, very simple, calls out right to your ideal person. Okay? So those are your headline formulas. So the first step of writing the letter, okay, is just going to be to come up with a headline. And so these are really some of the best formulas that I've ever uncovered, right, and that I like to use personally. So people say, Frank, you write pretty good copy. I'm like, well, thank you. It's kind of because I cheat and I use this framework I'm giving you right now. All right, so our next phase is going to be the open, right? And this is, what I mean by open is this is us beginning the letter. And I really almost always default to this statement. If you want really cool results, then this is for you. Here's why. Excuse me, right? So let me give you an example of it. For the Convert book, which is the one I just showed you, which is no longer on the market, I need to resell it because it only worked great. I don't know if you guys ever do that, but something will work and you just get bored and do something else. Not very smart, you know? So anyway, here it is for Convert book. The open is, if you'd like to create internet campaigns that sell like crazy, regardless of your industry, this is the most important book you'll ever read. Okay? Boom. That is the if you want to yay, then this, right? Here it is for the consulting book, right? Dear friend, if you'd like to sell lots of consulting, coaching, or professional services, this will be the most important book you'll ever read. Well, what do you know? It's pretty much exactly the same. Yeah, I'm literally copying myself. Oh, we blew up the monitor again. There it goes. Look at that. Magic. Made that happen with my mind. That's what I did. Okay? So, you know where I got this from? I got this from Gary Halbert, the late, great, legendary Gary Halbert. Here's one of his opens. If you'd like to lose weight for real and do it extremely fast, up to 10 pounds of fat and fluid in 2 days, then up to 1 pound a day until you reach your goal, this is going to be the most exciting message you'll ever read. I mean, who could resist that, right? And assuming that you want to lose 10 pounds of fat and fluid in 2 days. How does that even happen? What is that, liposuction? I guess that's a letter for lipo. Here's another one. Okay, hang on. If you are already a professional model, or if you'd like to be, this is going to be the most exciting message you will ever read. I mean, obviously, that appealed to me instantly. I'm a professional model. Not really. Okay, so that's how we begin the letter, right? So if you're following along and you're like, screw it, I'm just going to try these formulas. At this point, you've started yourself a sales letter, right? You're no longer pacing around wondering what to say, going, oh, this is horrible. You don't feel like you're writing a term paper. You're filling in these little boxes. And again, if you want this thing, if you want this box with all of these little pieces in it, you can have it. Just text notes to 858-239-1008. The automated thingy will make the notes appear for you through magic automation. It's pretty sweet. Okay? So the next thing we want to do, and this is where a lot of people sort of drop the ball, is we want to immediately start joining into the conversation in the reader's mind, right? And I believe it was Robert Collier who kind of popularized that concept when his ideas of writing really good ads were, hey, you have to enter the conversation in the other person's mind. So if we think about it, excuse me, if we think about it, someone's reading the letter for, let's say, this book, right? And it says, how to get consulting. The headline is, new book shows how to get consulting clients fast, even if nobody's ever heard you. You're like, huh. And then the opening says, if you want to get consulting clients fast, even if no one's ever heard you, this is the most important book you'll ever read. What's going to go through that person's mind? Immediate skepticism, right? Of course I mean, why wouldn't it? Right? That's a pretty bold claim. This is the most important book you've ever read. If you want to get consulting clients fast, I don't know, sounds like shenanigans. So we have two choices. We could be like 99.99% of all the marketers in the world and just try to make our promises bigger and louder so we can overcome that skepticism, or we could be rational, normal human beings and be cool to people and address them. Which one do you think works better, right? Of course, giving the damaging admission. So here's what I like to do. This is, I can't remember which of my books this is for, but notice I say, but first a warning. Before we go further, let me make something abundantly clear. This isn't one of those get-rich-quick websites that promises you a fortune for doing nothing. Here's the deal. The system I outline in this book is working great for me, and I believe it can help you too, but I'm not suggesting that everyone or anyone who reads it is going to make a lot of money. I don't know how much the people who read it will make. It's likely that many or most of them will make little or nothing at all, especially if they don't follow the directions and work hard. Now, come back to me. If you're a person who has read all kinds of BS, hypey, scammy crap, and you've bought all kinds of stuff with these huge pie-in-the-sky promises, and you're very jaded, and you see that message right off the bat, what do you think the chances are of you feeling a little more receptive to the rest of the message now? Thinking, finally, someone's actually shooting me straight here. Okay, I understand that there is no magic freaking pill, all right? But maybe I'll continue reading what this guy has to say with a more open mind. That's all we're trying to do right here, right? Is just be like, look, I know that, obviously, whatever, overcome the skepticism, but still you should check this out because it might be helpful to you. Here's how I do it in the Convert book, right? I say, by the way, yes, this book really is free, but before I tell you about it, let me make something perfectly clear. This isn't one of those get-rich-quick websites that promise you a fortune for doing nothing. Look, it is literally the exact same copy for both books, just about. What you're getting is working great for me, and it's the exact system I've used to create internet ad campaigns that sold over $50 million worth of products and services online over the past few years alone, but there's a catch. Here it is. And blah, 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 right? So same concept. And notice what we've got here. We have really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sentences. That's that entire section. Okay, so we want to do that to establish more credibility and gain more trust. And once we've done that, right, now it's time to start making the introduction to the offer. Okay, so that's where we are in our next little segment here. So here's how I do it in my sales letter for the book. Okay, so I say, with that said, now this is, you see that first sentence there at the top? That's kind of the end of that damaging admission part. I say, with that said, let me jump right in and show you exactly what you're getting. First of all, okay, this isn't like any business book you've ever read. There's no fluff or filler, just battle-tested tactics that are working right now, and it's easy to read. It's 68 pages. You can read it in an afternoon, and you'll immediately get the entire system I personally use to get 36 consulting clients, paying an average of $48.60 per month in just 90 days part-time. Okay, boom, right there, introduction to the offer. Now notice it's about, this is what you are getting. And from a language pattern perspective, I'm sort of future pacing the reader going, you're getting this. Not, this is exactly what you will get if you buy this. It is, here's exactly what you're getting. I could maybe even make that a little more effective by saying, here's what you're getting today, all right? Or here's what you're getting right now. Notice I did the exact same thing with the convert book. So with that understood, let me tell you exactly what you're getting. This is dramatically different from anything you've ever read because it's more of a field guide to advertising for massive profits than a traditional book. The reason why is because there's no fluff or filler. It immediately gets down to brass tacks, showing you exactly what to do, how to do it, and why. Plus, it's easy. Just 75 pages. You can read it in an afternoon, and you'll immediately get the entire methodology I personally used to create some of the most successful internet advertising promotions in history. So what we did right there, now if we look at those, 1, 2, 3, 4 sentences for the convert book. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sentences. 4 sentences for the consulting book, 5 sentences for the convert book. Easy, right? So if you're doing this, right? So if you've got this little, where is it? Yeah, boom. If you've got this little cheat sheet, which again, you can have, right? Just text notes to the number on the screen. There we go, 858-239-1888. If you just fill this in, just kind of jot it in by hand while we're going along with this, what's going to happen is you can just take the result of this and you can go, hot damn, I got myself the outline for a sales letter, and you can knock your sales letter out today, okay? And that's what we want to do because guess what? Yesterday we showed you how to knock out the book, right? Right now I'm showing you how to knock out the sales letter. What's going to happen? You knock out that sales letter today, you get your transcripts edited for your book, well, you can start selling your book like tomorrow, right? So pretty sweet. Like action makes money, not sitting around, not contemplation. Let's get it done, baby. Because you can do this, there's nothing to it, right? You can see you're following along with this thing. It's not like it's rocket science, it's assembly line. Okay, so next thing we want to do is we want to expand the value of what we're talking about, right? We really want to start elaborating on how good the thing is that we are selling. So the way I do it with my consulting book, I say this is about more than just consulting. See, you can use the same system in this book to sell all kinds of high-end products and services. For example, I currently use the same system to get professional services clients for my marketing agency every month for an average of $12,000 per client. We architect and install high-level automation solutions for advisors. I also use the same strategies in the book to sell high-end masterminds. I created a group of 12 members in 60 days, and the price is $35,000 per member. An insurance company recently used the same strategies in the book to recruit financial advisors for their firm. A client in the mortgage industry is using the same strategies to recruit loan officers for a lending institution, and then using the same strategies to turn those loan officers into coaching clients that pay him $1,800 per month for his business. So like I said, there's more to this little book than quote unquote just consulting. Okay, so that's that first block of it, which is that, right? So I'm just sort of expanding the value, right? So remember yesterday when I was telling you about the myths of what a book funnel is, and I told you I had the drawing of the dude in the palm trees, right? And it was like, no free lunch, right? There's no free lunch. Just because we're selling a $5 downloadable book or $7 or whatever you want to sell it for, doesn't mean we can just go to a webpage and go, get my book, right? We have to follow this framework, right? You really have to try to sell the book. Selling a $5 book takes just the same amount of effort as selling like a $100 book or a $5,000 thing. It's the same process. You always have to do the very, very best you can, right? And if you really believe in what your book is helping people do, then you kind of owe it to them to do the very best you can to get it in their hands, right? I mean, I know a lot of people have really good success because they got this and they're like, oh my gosh, I don't have to cold call. That's crazy. I can just build this system and have people come to me. Thank you so much. Makes me feel really, really good. Okay, so now we're about to get into the nuclear power plant of this process, and that is the bullets, right? So I'm going to give you a lot of bullet formulas. Each formula is going to be listed, I think. Yeah, each formula is going to be listed on this little cheat sheet. If you want this cheat sheet again, or you can, of course, just take notes while you're watching it, but if you want the cheat sheet, just text notes to 858-239-1008. We might even have it in the comments if you're on the Facebooks, and I'm sure we have it in the comments if you're on my website right now watching as well, but we'll send it to you via automation. So here's the deal. You can come back to me. Here's the deal about bullets, all right? One bullet can make or break your sale. Really is more likely to make your sale. The more bullets you have that are well written, the more of an increase you are going to see in your chance to actually get the sale. I don't know if this has happened to you. I bet it has. A couple years ago, man, I can tell you where I was when this happened. So I used to, it's a long story, but I used to own a gym. Stop laughing. Of course, I didn't go to it. That's silly. And it didn't work out, so I converted the gym into an office. And I would have clients come, and I put like one of the entire walls of the gym was a whiteboard. It was something like a 36-foot whiteboard. It was really cool. So we'd have groups of people come in there, and they'd be writing on the whiteboard. And I also used that space as an office. And I remember I'm watching a Dan Kennedy presentation, or rather I'm reading a Dan Kennedy sales letter, and it's for a $2,000 product. And I'm like, oh, well, that's a pretty good chunk of change, but hey, if I get a good idea from it, why not, right? But I wasn't really sold on it. I was like, oh, this is pretty good. I love Dan Kennedy. I trust him. I think he's pretty good. But do I really want to get this thing? Am I really going to read it? One bullet got me. The bullet said, I will also give you, and I forgot what it was, X order form strategies to increase the conversion rate of your order form. All the stuff, that one thing got me, right? So you need to come up with every possible benefit that you can and put it in bullet form, because that's kind of how it works in our brains. Now, the good news is there's a cheat sheet way to do this, right? Because I'm going to give you bullet formulas right now, and if you just make 2 bullets per formula, you're done, baby. Okay, so let's do it. So the first formula is how to X even if Y. Okay, let's see how to do this thing. What I want to do. Okay, so I'll give you the frameworks. I'll give you the formulas, and then what I'll do is I will give you examples. All right. So the first one is how to X even if Y. How to make sales, or how to get consulting clients fast, even if no one's ever heard of you. Right. That's perfect. How to be a good salesman even if you're a painfully shy introvert. How to be successful with women even if you failed in the past, okay? Another one is you need X, right? Wrong, okay? You need social proof, 1 million followers and an army of affiliates to succeed on the internet, right? Wrong. Classic bullet point using that formula, right? X ways to Y, okay? Very simple. As a matter of fact, if you go to the grocery store, you look at the magazine rack, these are going to be some of the subheads on any magazine cover that has to do with just about anything. 5 ways to burn fat this summer. On just about any Men's Health magazine is going to say that, right? 6 ways to, keep your man's attention. That's going to be on the cover of just about any Cosmo type magazines. Okay, classic formula. You can use it as a bullet point. Where to find why? Where to find customers with money? Okay, where to find beautiful women who like overweight middle-aged guys with hairy backs? Right? Hey, that would sell pretty good. In my crowd, I tell you what. Okay, so where to find whatever. Okay, that's another great one. How to eliminate X. How to eliminate skepticism before the person ever even sees your ad, right? Classic thing. Now you're curious, right? And I'm just making these up on the fly. I'll show you some classic bullets to correspond with these formulas here in a minute, so we're all good on that regard. The next one is what you should never. A classic bullet was what you should never eat on an airplane. That was used by, I think, Agora Publishing to sell one of their newsletters. And I finally got to meet Brian Kurtz, and I was like, Brian, what is it that you should never eat on an airplane? And the answer was, dude, it's everything. You should never eat anything on an airplane. I'm like, come on. You got me, right? But what you should never do. What you should never say in the first line of your email if you want to make sales, right? What you should never do when trying to win a high-ticket client. What you should never do if you're starting a book funnel, right? What is that, by the way? It is sit down and try to write the damn book manually, because it'll take forever. Instead, you should use the method I taught you in our last session together, right? So I think you get that. So here's another one, why counterintuitive works, right? So this is playing to their existing assumptions, okay? So if you, let's say, we're dealing, you can come back to me. Let's say we're selling to the typical internet marketing crowd, like us, right? And we are conditioned to believe that having a lot of affiliates is really smart and makes you money. I might have a bullet point to really get them very curious by saying why banning affiliate marketing works, why firing all of your affiliates actually makes you more money, right? So that's going to cause the reader, who has this presupposition that, no, you're supposed to have affiliates, that, wait a minute, what? And that's all you want to do. You just want to hook them a little bit so they're more interested, because they want to get the thing to satiate that curiosity, right? Why eating ice cream every day helps you lose weight. I don't know if that's necessarily true, so please, I'm just giving you random examples, but that's another great example of why doing something counterintuitive actually works. Right? So to sell like Atkins diet or whatever, a really good hook on that was why eating high fat and massive amounts of red meat every single day helps you live longer. May or may not have actually helped you live longer. I don't really know. Here's another one. Say goodbye to frustration. Right? Say goodbye to rejection, because on page 37, you'll learn how to have clients chasing you. Right? Just totally pulled that out of the air, but that's what you want. If you know their key frustrations, you're gold. Right? Say goodbye to sassy attitudes, general disobedience, and messy rooms. Discover how to turn your child into a well-behaved robot, right? On page 76. I don't know how to do that. I don't know if that's actually possible, but I think you get what I mean, right? So if you can isolate a frustration and then immediately say, hey, say goodbye to this frustration, it's great, right? Say goodbye to high power bills, okay? If we're selling solar, perfect, right? Makes sense. Okay. So here's another one, the truth about X, right? Really, really, really good. Okay, the truth about long-form sales copy. And if we wanted to really be crazy, we could say, and why it doesn't work in some situations. Don't know what those situations would be, so I don't know if that's necessarily true. You should always be truthful. I'm just sort of pulling these out of the air. Okay, another one, what to do if. What to do if you're getting opt-ins, but no one's buying your stuff. What to do if you have the greatest product in the world, but you can't seem to sell it. Right? What to do if you have an incredible vault of valuable knowledge in your mind, but you don't know how to get it into the marketplace. Okay? What to do if you've tried everything, but you can't seem to get traffic from Facebook. Right? Perfect. So all of those. And you could use that same formula over and over and over again. So you're not limited to one bullet per formula, right? You don't want to do them in the same little row, but you might have two. You might have how to X even if Y, then what to do if, then what you should never, and then another how to do X even if Y, and then another what to do if, and then why counterintuitive works, right? So you just sort of shuffle these all together if you're using multiple formulas in the same sales letter, or multiple bullets of the same formula in the same sales letter, right? Here's another one, when it's okay to. When it's okay to have dessert every single day, right? I guess when you're a triathlete, I guess that might be it, right? When you're a triathlete and you burn 7,000 calories a day training, it's totally okay to eat ice cream every meal, right? So, but it's great. So if you find the thing that they secretly want to do, and in your bullet point, you say when it's okay to, right? So if I was selling this book, a great bullet, which I should probably use, would be when it's okay to refuse to try to make a sale, right? Of course, the answer to that is if it's not a perfect client, okay? So let me give you some examples, all right? So SAS, put this on their screen. Hopefully you guys can see this. I'm going to read you some of my bullets. This is from my consulting book, right? So 5 ways to get prospects eager to buy, right? That's the X ways to Y formula right there. So what I like to do is instead of just going X ways to Y, I like to make it even more elaborate. So in this one I say 5 ways to get prospects eager to buy before they even see your pitch. Believe it or not, one way is by refusing to sell to them. And by the way, that's kind of an embed of the not the controversial, but the counterintuitive formula right there. See how it works in the other 4 ways as well on page 53. Here's another one, how to get clients in the next 14 days, even if you're a complete unknown. It's the same thing as the very first format, right? The very first formula, how to X even if Y, okay? So these are all really, really classic formulas. It's not me coming up with anything amazing, right? It's simply I'm using these formulas I just gave you, and I'm just kind of using them over and over again as my bullet points. In this other example, these are more bullets, by the way. For my consulting book, I go on and I have even more of them. So if we look, by the way, this is a 68-page book, by the way. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 bullets so far. Remember the what to do if formula? What to do if you're brand new and nobody's ever heard of you. Classic, right? The truth about X formula, here it is. The truth about opt-in pages, okay? When it's okay to, right? Look, most people are tech dummies, myself included. When is it okay to be a tech dummy? When you have a really simple system, right? That's when it's okay. I built my entire business using these 7 simple tools, including a legal pad, a pencil, and a calculator. See the other 4 low-tech tools on page 9. Right? Remember the say goodbye to formula? Here it is. Say goodbye to having a small list. Right? So here's why doing this thing? Why doing the counterintuitive? Why ditching your order form and sales materials can actually skyrocket your sales. That's the counterintuitive thing. You think you have to have all that stuff. Maybe you don't. Right? Why you should never X. Remember that one? Here it is. Why you should never tell a prospect how you can help them. Never. Shocking test results on page 35. Okay, so there we go. And again, here we are with even more, right? So this is crazy. So I guess what I'm trying to show you is two things, right? And you can come back to me. Number one, you got to have bullets, baby. You got to have them. The reason my stuff converts so well is because I have bullets. That is the secret weapon. Well, that and following this framework I'm giving you, right? But a huge part of this framework is your bullets. Bullet points are almost like imagine your prospect is kind of hungry, and a bullet is a different smell of a different dish. And you never know if this guy's going to smell fried chicken and be hungry, or maybe he's vegan and he's going to smell whatever vegan people, I don't know, can you smell vegan stuff? I don't know, right? Or maybe he's going to smell garlic and that's going to make him hungry. Every single bullet is like a little thing, like a little teaser, pulling this prospect's mind closer and closer to like wanting to have your stuff. Right? So the more bullets you have, assuming they're well written, and by the way, you can't screw them up if you follow the formula I just gave you, right? There's a lot of them. The more bullets you have, the better you'll do. So you look at my letter for my consulting book and you're like, dang, that's a long letter. It is, but it's mostly bullets, right? A bullet is like a sentence. It's not a hard thing to do if you know these formulas, which now you know, especially if you got the notes, which I've told you how to get them a zillion times, so I'm not going to bother you with that. So there are, oh no. What'd I do? I done blowed it up, y'all. Hang on. Let's see. Let me open this sucker back up. I think I somehow, there we go. Ha, magic. Okay, so here's some more formulas, right? Because really of everything we got, the offer obviously has to be good, right? So I couldn't like use great bullets and try to sell this book for $9,000 and it comes with a home castration kit or something, right? Like no one's going to want that, right? So your offer has to be good and solid. But aside from that critical piece, these bullets could very well be the most important element of your letter, all right? Because all this other stuff I'm showing you is very, very formulaic. The bullets are going to do the meat of your heavy lifting for you in this particular circumstance, okay? So another classic formula for bullets is to use a big question as a bullet, okay? So where'd we go? Come back to me there. There we go. And these are from old ads that worked beautifully. This is from, I believe it was a Eugene Schwartz ad, but I'm not sure. Have you been boiling eggs in the wrong pot? And can it really matter? See page 10, right? Have you been trying to sell to the wrong types of clients? And is that why you're losing money? See page 7, right? Have you been advertising to the wrong audiences on Facebook? See how to find out on page 12, right? Classic, really simple. Entering that conversation in their mind, right? So if the person's wondering about this problem and you're able to ask a big question as a bullet point, what are you doing? You're entering that conversation in their mind. You're triggering that. Yeah, I have been wondering about that, right? So have you been doing your sit-ups wrong? If your lower back hurts, see page 7 to find out, right? If you're into that kind of thing, then that would be appealing to you. Here's another one. This is a series of big questions as bullets, all in one fell swoop here. A humane way to kill a lobster? See page 138. How to bread your meat or fish without the crumbs sticking to your fingers? See page 125. How to keep lasagna noodles from sticking together? See page 159. Actually, that's pretty good. I mean, I would like to know how to do that. That's a pain in the butt. Have you been serving your roast beef too soon after it comes out of the oven? Read page 59 carefully. Gotta love that, right? Here's some more. This is from a different writer, okay? Can an extramarital affair ever help keep a marriage going? What's the effect of marijuana on sexual pleasure? Well, everyone knows that kills you instantly. What is a maxi orgasm? Obviously, I'm kidding. Is there really such thing as a nymphomaniac? What's the effect of powerful sexual excitement on the heart, right? And since we're broadcasting to Facebook, I think I'll switch to a different subject matter of bullet points as to avoid, violating any of their terms or something. So here's another set on a totally different set of subject matter, right? So has your Social Security become so valuable that you should, as some people have done, tattoo your account number somewhere on your body? Notice these are all big questions. What forms of deception have people employed in order to maximize their Social Security benefits and collect pensions early? What are the penalties for such deception? How can a husband collect a pension based on his wife's earnings? Right? Unbelievable. Okay? I mean, if I were using this, one of the ones to sell my stuff would be, what's the best way to make money from people who tell you no? right? And then another one would be, can you really earn 400% more revenue from people who initially told you no than the first people who told you yes, right? Because that's what I believe you can do. So notice this, all of these bullets are just big what if questions or how can you, right? Huge though. You never really see this in today's internet marketing world because so few people actually take the time to learn these formulas. But you have the formulas now. You've got these examples I'm giving you right now. There's no reason in the world not to because you know what? It's kind of fun. Right? It's easy to make these things. You just follow the freaking formulas, right? The bullets is a good time. Okay? So here's another one. These are called dog whistle bullets. These are bullet points that call right out to the reader, right? Right out to your perfect prospect. So for Scrabble players, a 3-letter word for totem pole, beginning with an X. Page 271. A 3-letter word containing an X and a Z. Page 375. Well, what the hell is that? Right? What could that actually be? Who knows? I guess it'd have to have a vowel in the middle, I suppose. Okay? So for Scrabble players. So if I had this for personal development coaches, right? Yada, yada, yada. See page 375. Okay? Here's another one. For feminists, 2 additional ways to say male chauvinist, both on page 9. Really, really cool. For gourmets, what does beluga mean? Want to bet? You gotta love that. That's really using the dog whistle combined with ask a big question, combined with now the counterintuitive, right? Because they're assuming that you're answering that question in your head and now playing to that counterintuitive curiosity by saying, want to bet? Beautiful, right? So every single person watching this right now, you should model that one bullet definitely, no matter what you're doing. Perfect, right? This could even make for a good Facebook ad headline. You could have like a picture of, a puzzled-looking gourmet, like with a picture of like a can of caviar or whatever, and your headline could say, for gourmets, what does beluga mean? Want to bet? And then they could read the rest of the post, which could drive them to a web page that sold your stuff. Okay? For crossword fans, a 4-letter word that is removed from a piece of paper when you punch a hole in it. For the counterculture, a 7-letter word meaning a fine blend of marijuana from India. Page 9. Well, let's see. I-N-D-I-C. Indica. I-N-D-I-C. Dang, I can't do it on camera. Indica. I think it's indica. I've never had any of it. That's why I can't count to 7 on camera. Okay, so this is another great one, right? This formula right here. Boom. If you problem, concern, or issue. So if you have big problem, this, right? Perfect bullet formula. You're going to love this one, okay? So if you stopped, so this is for golfers, if you stopped improving, once you reach the point of being fairly good, see page 150, right? Beautiful, beautiful. Another one if we're selling to, the internet marketing crowd. If you stopped increasing your sales once you hit $1,000 a week, see page 57, right? Same thing. Here's another one. If you feel guilty, that's the problem, concern, or issue. If you feel guilty about forgetting to keep your head down, forget it, right? And now this one segues into that counterintuitive. That's not the reason why you've been topping your shots. See page 123, right? So if you compare these to 90% of the bullet points you ever read, if in fact you ever even see bullet points written by your competition right now, these are significantly more interesting and significantly more curiosity invoking. And what do we want to do? We want to make people very curious about what the heck is in this thing, right? I got to read this. Seriously, what in the world? What is another word for beluga? What does beluga actually mean, right? Maybe it means book buyer. You never know, right? Okay, here's another one. This is great. If you, notice, it's the same thing. If the first thing you do before swinging is position your feet, you've got the order wrong. Beautiful. If your shots feel solid when you hit them, but the ball flies in the wrong direction anyway, see page 19. Well, see, when I play golf, I don't have any of those problems because I miss the ball entirely. So, see, I'm perfect. I don't even bother hitting it. I just swing, miss the ball. I'm like, I'm counting that. It's going all the way. It circumnavigated the globe and has now landed perfectly right back on the tee. Thank you very much. Tiger Woods, y'all. All right, so here we go. Here's another great one, right? If your biscuits aren't as flaky as you'd like, see page 231. If the meringue, when you're baked Alaska, isn't stiff enough, see page 267. If your eggs Benedict aren't what they should be, read page 145. The fast, easy way to make good Napoleons starts with 4 pieces of cardboard. They don't show up in the final dish. See page 257, right? Beautiful. If you're, right? If your problem, then curiosity. Perfect formula, right? Beautiful formula. Nobody uses it. If we use it, chances are we sell more stuff. So now look what we've got, okay? So if you've been following along and you've been sort of writing things out on your sheet as I've been giving you this stuff, look, you can come to me for a minute. I'll show this thing. You would have written the headline just based on one of the formulas. Don't overthink it. Just knock it out. You can change it later. You would have started your sales letter. Hey, if you want to play excellent golf, even if you have chronic back pain and one leg is shorter than the other and you're blind in one eye, this is going to be the most important letter you've ever read. Here's why, right? And now disqualify. But first, a warning. At first, you got to understand this isn't one of those I can turn anybody into an excellent golfer books. Hey, if you hate golf, if you're easily riled up, if you're not dedicated to improving your game, then this book really can't help you. But if you're a committed golfer who really wants to get results, then this is definitely going to change your life. Simply addressing that skepticism, right? And then here. But this book is more than just about driving the ball 100 yards. For example, you'll also learn how to sink putts from 15 feet away. You'll also learn how to, I'm running out of golf terminology. You'll also learn how to get out of sand traps in one easy swing, etc., right? And then we expand, okay? And then we've got the bullets. So if you've been following along with me during this time, you should have been, whether you're doing it in the handout or if you're just writing it down on a scratch sheet of paper, you've got section 1, section 2, section 3, section 4, section 5, and you've got a bunch of bullets, right? Now, you might not have a ton of them. Ideally, you would write 2 or 3 for every formula, right? So if we wrote 2 for every formula, you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You would have 24 bullets. Go look at your competition right now. Do they have 24 bullets? If they do, are they good? Are they interesting? These formulas will make yours interesting, right? I'm telling you, this will make or break your letter right here. This is the secret, okay? Try it. You'll see. All right? And so now it's time to start actually trying to sell something. Because what we've been doing right now is we've been building that curiosity, building that desire. But hey, we still have to ask for the offer, right? So that counted as a workout right there. Thank you very much. Okay, so what we're going to do is finally cooling off in here, by the way, which is awesome. Hang on, I need to get a little bit of water for us. There we go. Thanks for bearing with me on that one, y'all. Hope you're enjoying this, by the way. If you like it and you're watching on the Facebooks, proper word to say it is the Facebooks, hit the heart button for me, hit the like button for me, share this with your friends. Let's help people out. You got buddies that are in business. They need to know how to do this. Hey, one sales letter could change your life. Could totally change everything for you. You have one sales letter that works. I wrote the thing for this book in 2012 or something? Same freaking letter. It's just been going and going and going and going. One letter can change everything, right? So if you have someone you care about, someone's in business, a friend of yours, you want them to know how to do this stuff, hit the like button. Hit the share button on Facebook. If you're watching this on my site, forward the address to one of your buddies. Let's help them out. Let's do some good work today, right? That's what it's all about. Always comes back to you tenfold. Every single time without fail. That's what I believe anyway. Okay, so now what we want to do is we've really sort of gotten them curious. We've told them what this stuff is about. We've, addressed a little bit of the skepticism. Now it's time to start selling, okay? So what we're going to do is we transition into what I call the stack. So before I go into what the stack is, let me tell you how to transition it. Basically, we say, yep, that's a lot of X, but it gets better because you're also getting, and now we're going to want to start stacking the value and beginning the offer. Okay? So from my book, I say, you're right. That's a lot of battle-tested strategies and tactics, and it's stuff no one else can share with you because no one else is doing it, but it gets better because you're also getting. So now we're just wanting to transition into more demonstration of value. So this is where we start beginning the offer. And the first step here is to announce a bonus, right? So if we're selling anything, we almost always want to have a bonus, okay? And the bonus should be as valuable or more valuable than the thing you're selling is, right? That's how to make an offer irresistible, okay? So we want to announce the bonus right here. And by the way, this is a separate sheet. And again, if you want these things, and they're already pre-filled out with the answers in them and stuff, just there you go. Text notes to that thing and we'll take care of you. Tout suite is how you say it in French, I think. Okay, so here's how we do it, okay? And you're going to want to go full screen. There you go. Thank you. This is a little hard to read here for even me. So it says, but it gets better because you're also getting, and in this case, This is for my consulting book. It says, you're also getting an advanced stealth persuasion system for high-end sales. At the end of this book, you're getting a complete blueprint of the most powerful sales methodology ever deployed in any industry. You'll learn how to close super high-end sales with no pressure, convincing, or traditional selling. This simple but effective method has been giving me great sales conversion for almost 2 years running, but nobody else does it, right? So let me show something to you that's kind of cool. Let's look at what I just said after that headline or subhead. At the end of this book, you're getting, I'm not saying you're getting a second book. I'm not saying you're getting another thing. I'm just talking about this information is now positioned as even more cool stuff than what I was talking about in all of those bullets, right? So it doesn't necessarily even have to be a separate product, but I do like to kind of take it that far, which I'll continue to show you as we go along in this. But that is one way to build value with a transition to a stack like that. Hey, you're also getting yada, 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 see page 7. So even if you have a big list of bullets, you can double your list of bullets by going, but that's not all. You also get then bullet, 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 all for the same product. This case, it's sort of a subtle way to do it, right? Now, here's how I did it. So the second little thing that you see, this part, we'll pull it up on your screen in a minute, is bullets for this. Oh, no, it's not. No, this is actually still for the same, this is wrong book. This is still for the same consulting book, right? So let me show you this, how we're now stacking this value. So the best part of this is that it's specifically designed for people who hate selling. Listen, if you don't like sales, you're not alone. I can't stand it either. I'd literally rather do hard manual labor than be a typical salesman. And that's why I've spent years developing the system I'll be giving you at the end of this book. When you use it, 2 things will happen. First, you'll be of genuine help to everyone you use it with. They'll come away from the experience viewing you as a trusted friend and advisor, regardless of whether or not they buy anything. This is really important to you because it sets you up for a long-term relationship with them, where they're significantly more likely to become a good customer that does business with you for years. The next thing you'll notice is this. You'll know how to make more sales, right? So what I'm really doing here is I am positioning, let's see here. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So I am positioning these 3 pages 59, I'm positioning the last 10 pages of this book, starting here. This is excellent information, by the way. This really, like everything I just said right here is dead on the nail. This is such a cool process. I'm positioning those last 10 pages as a separate bundle of its own value. You know why? Because it freaking is. It's awesome. So you can do it. You don't have to go and make a second book or whatever. One chapter of your book, if you got one piece of it that's so awesome that you think it merits this kind of copy, position it that way, just the same way that I did, all right? So what we want to do now, right, if we've added a bonus, we can put that in there. If we position like one extra chapter or one extra thing as something very valuable, you can put that there. But what we want to do now is we want to start beginning the close, okay? So a lot of people mess this up, and it's easy to mess up because we get freaked out about closing. I like to follow a pretty simple thing, which is to say, here's what I want you to do next. So literally from my letters, this is from both of them, right? So this is from the downloadable version of my book over here on the left. It says, here's what to do next. The cost of this book is $5.60, and you get it instantly as a download. As soon as you place your order, you'll get an automated receipt with a link to download the book directly in your email. You can access it anywhere immediately without having to wait for the mailman. Nice, okay? Here's the same copy, but back when I was doing free plus shipping. So this is the exact same sale, but this is when I was actually mailing them the book and positioned it as a free book. You just pay shipping. So I say, here's what to do next. Like I said, the book is free. All I ask is you cover the postage of $5.60. I'm using USPS, and their flat rate for a book this size is $5.60, shipped anywhere in the United States. If you're out of the country, I'll pick up my extra shipping charges personally. Your book will be shipped same day. As soon as you request it, we ship it to you unless it's in the middle of the night, and then we'll do it in the morning. We'll also email you with your shipping information, and if you're in the U.S., we'll send you a tracking number as well. You can expect to get it in about 5 days if you're in the U.S. International shipments take longer. Oh, and in case you're wondering, boom, okay? And so that begins the close, all right? So the next thing we do is we know that they're going to have concerns, right? So we have to address those in the next little phase here. Okay, so let me show you how we do that. So here are some of the things they could be concerned about. The price, right? In this case, why is it so cheap? All right, if you're selling something expensive, why is it so expensive? If they're going to have a concern around it, you need to address it, right? Self-doubt, which is, well, makes sense. It could work for Frank. He clearly has magic powers or something, but it couldn't work for me. That's one of the biggest things that are going to kill your sales no matter what you're selling. Is not that they don't believe you, but they don't believe in themselves. So that's one thing you might need to address. Another one is, will it work for me? So I don't believe, it's not that I don't believe in myself, but I'm not sure this will work for me because my situation is different, slightly different thing. Is this a trick, right? So if it's a free plus shipping offer for your book or something, they're going to be like, what's the catch here? Why are they doing this, right? Is this a trick? If it's so good, why is it so cheap, okay? Hang on, I have to get a little something to drink here. If there's another option they're considering, they might be wondering, is this better than my other option? So you might need to address that. Should I do this now or can I wait? Right? Those are all things that need to be addressed. So here's how I do it. Now, the biggest thing in the book funnel, if you're selling a book free plus shipping or it's inexpensive, they're going to be like, okay, what's the catch? What's going on here? This sounds pretty good, but why would you be giving me this for only $5.60? Do I declare shenanigans? I don't know. Right? So what you got to do is say something like this. In case you're wondering, there's no catch. And here I am literally jumping right in the conversation in their heads, right? I know there's some websites out there that offer you a great deal on something, but then they stick you in some program that charges your card every month. This isn't one of them. Hey, if you want to see people who model my copy and paste that phrase into Google and see how many sales letters are on it. I bet you'll find a ton, right? There's no hidden continuity program you have to try or anything even remotely like that. I'm literally giving you this entire book for free as a means of putting my best foot forward and demonstrating real value. My hope is that you'll love it, and this will be the start of a good business relationship for years. Here's another version of the same angle, right? I realize this is very inexpensive, so you might wonder what the catch is. And I know there are some websites out there, exact same copy, by the way, right? I know there's some websites out there that offer you a great deal on something, but then they stick you in some program. This isn't one of them, yada, yada, yada. I'm literally giving you this book for $5.60. Now, the one on the left, that's free plus shipping. I'm saying I'm literally giving it to you for free. The one on the right is where I'm selling it as a download, okay? Notice the very subtle difference in addressing that, hey, it's too good to be true skepticism. I'm literally giving you this entire book for $5.60 as a means of putting my best foot forward and demonstrating real value. My hope is that you'll love it, and this will be the start of a good business relationship for years to come. Now, we have just begun to overcome that skepticism, right? So I'll address it further in a minute. But what we really want to do right now is we want to get them to realize that they need to order right now. Okay, so the next phase here is you got to order right now. So you'll notice right down in the letter, I say time is of the essence, right? In most cases, I take a loss when selling the book at this price. It cost me just over $21 in advertising expense to sell one book. So why would I do that? Now remember, a second ago, I was like, hey, we still have some more work to do in addressing that skepticism. I'm doing it right here, but I'm also introducing why they should order now. So I'm saying, hey, it cost me over $21 in advertising expense to sell one book. Why would I do that? Here we go. I say simple. I'm making this offer with the idea that you'll be very impressed with what I'm giving you today, and you'll want to do more business with me in the future. Don't worry, I don't have a sales team that's going to call you and bother you. It's actually the opposite. I'm betting that you'll enjoy the book so much, you'll call me. Anyway, with that said, this is a limited offer. Now, what I'm doing right here is I'm further addressing the skepticism, right? So I'm like overcoming that, hey, is it too good to be true type of thing, but I'm also giving a very legitimate reason for this offer to potentially go away, which is, dude, it cost me $21 to sell this thing, right? So I could take it away at any time because that's a lot of freaking money to spend hoping that you're going to call me, right? Really simple. This is what I'm selling it as a download, right? Very simple, very true. Okay, so God forbid being blatantly upfront with people about stuff works. Who knew? Novel concept, okay? But a great way to overcome skepticism and doubt is to be straightforward and 100% honest with people. So here's another one, right? This is a different one. This is when I'm shipping it physically. And this is when I first released my book, by the way. I said time is of the essence. Here's why. I've ordered 1,000 copies of this book as a test. They're packaged up and ready to be shipped immediately. In all likelihood, they'll sell out almost instantly. Why? Because my businesses have a combined 327,500 satisfied customers and subscribers who are getting this message at the same time you are. And the last time I released a new book, it sold 18,500 copies in a few short weeks. So it's simply a matter of supply and demand. Now, never say anything like that unless it's true, right? This was back when I released I can't remember, it was one of these two, and I did it in conjunction with the digital marketer, and it just exploded, right? I mean, we sold a gazillion copies of them. It was true. Don't be making up fake numbers if it's not true, right? If you don't have a giant list, to say, hey, this is an experiment. I've only printed up a couple copies of this to see how well it works, and when they're gone, I might not renew it. Doesn't matter. As long as it's straightforward, you're good, right? So we did two things there. Okay, we gave him a reason to order now, which was the scarcity, all right, and we continued to address that skepticism. So now what we need to do is we need to introduce a second bonus. So our first thing, where I announced a bonus, I didn't even really position it as a bonus. I'm just saying you're also getting, and then I talked about the cool collaborative close method I teach in the last 10 pages of the book. Now we want to introduce a second thing of value. It could be a bonus, which is another piece of information. You could do the same thing and call it an additional chapter in the book, whatever you want to do. But we want to continue to add more value because we just made a pitch. We gave them the price, we gave them the reason why, and we want to continue to build that momentum towards yes, right? All right, hang on. Easy to lose my voice here, okay? So here we go. Here's how we do it. So I've just said, hey, you need to order now, right? It cost me $21 to sell one of these things. I could quit at any minute because who's crazy enough to do that, right? And then this is from an older version. And actually, this is from the Convert book. I can tell by the font size. It says, oh, one more thing. You're also getting a brand new video training where I deconstruct a new approach that brought in $710,977 in gross sales in 9 days. This was a new approach I wasn't entirely sure of, but boy, did it ever work. Anyway, I'm creating a full-blown training around this approach, and I'm giving you this hour-long advanced preview version of it in hopes you'll give me your feedback. And by the way, I plan to sell this in the future for at least $1,000, so I want you to know this isn't some gimmick. It's a real advanced level, in-depth training where you're not only seeing every aspect of a winning marketing strategy, but you're also being shown how to implement it. Here's how I do it with the consulting book, right? You're also getting an advanced 90-minute training for free. During this training, I'll walk you through exactly what's working to get clients right now. You'll see the actual ads I'm running. You'll see the emails I'm using. I'll even tell you exactly what to say to get clients chasing after you. And there's no charge for it. I want you to have this as my gift for checking out the book. Come back to me there, Sass. Let me ask you a question. What do you think that 90-minute advanced training is? It's the webinar. What's that you say? The same webinar that you originally built to get your content out of your head so you could have it transcribed and turned into a book? Yeah, that one. Of course, I went and reshot the thing and made it good and more professional, but it's the same framework, it's the same content. I just added my pitch at the end to it and made it good. That's what I'm saying. If you follow what I've been sharing with you in this entire training, it's a very step-by-step thing. Everything locks together, right? So now I've shot the webinar, recorded it, got content out of my head using that framework I shared with you yesterday, out of my head, recorded, transcribed, edited, turned into a book. Then I thought of, what do I want my Slack adjuster to be? What do I want my main thing to be? And it was my advanced consulting course. So I went back to that same webinar, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to sort of put an offer on the end of this, and I'm going to make that offer to be for this advanced training course. And what do you know? I record that webinar, and now, because it's very, very content rich, it's very good, I position it as a bonus when they buy the book. And you know what? If anyone goes through that webinar, they will tell you, man, this is a freaking good webinar, right? It's not a high pressure, high close webinar. You know, it only converts like 1% to 2%. I don't care. I got paid to get a buyer already. So every dollar that comes from it's pure gravy anyway. Plus, it further enhances that bond I have with my readers, right? So it's very, very important. But I just wanted to share that with you because we can continue to build these assets, right? If you build an asset, like we talked about yesterday, it can continue to work for you for a long time, which is what we want to do, okay? So our next thing we want to do is, after you've introduced your second bonus, is you got to have a guarantee. I mean, you got to be thinking, what, dude, seriously? This book is $5.60. You're going to guarantee that book? Hell yeah, because we have to try just as hard to sell something for $5 as we do for $500. So we're going to make a guarantee. Here's mine. I say, and by the way, even though, this is if you're doing free plus shipping, even though you're only paying for shipping, you're still protected by the boldest guarantee in the world. I 100% guarantee you'll love this book and the new video training, or I will return your $5.60 postage fee and let you keep the book and the videos anyway. That's right, you don't even have to send anything back. Just email me or call the number on your receipt and I'll give you back your $5.60 with no questions asked. How's that for fair? And then here's another one, right? So this is for the downloadable version, I think. It says, we'll see here, right? It says, oh, in case you're wondering, yes, of course there's a money-back guarantee. And in fact, I think it's the boldest guarantee in the world. I 100% guarantee you'll love this book and the new video training, or I'll return your $5.60 and let you keep the book and video training anyway. That's right. You don't even have to send anything back. Just email me or call the number on your receipt, and I'll give you back your $560 with no questions asked. It's a very simple guarantee, right? But you got to have one. Even if it's $5.60, you still have to have it. You're kind of required by law, I think, at least in California, to offer a refund anyway. So you might as well make a big deal out of it. Plus, it's the right thing to do. So our next final piece here is your call to action, right? Where you tell them to freaking buy it, okay? And here's what I do. This is truly a limited offer, so claim your copy now before they're all gone. Oh, did we lose the thing? Oh, there we go. This is me. I think we lost my computer again. Pew. Is the monitor dead? Oh, it's back. Yay, I did that with my mind. Okay, so I say on both of them, this is truly a limited offer. So claim your copy now before they're all gone, right? And I say, send me the book, all right? And then again, the exact same letter, but for a different book. How's that for fair? This is truly a limited offer. So claim your copy now before they're all gone. And I say, send me the book, right? Let's go. And there it is. So here's what has happened this morning. So that's how you do all of this stuff. Oh, you want to have a PS, right? So in your PS section, you want to restate, summarize, and repitch, okay? So notice the PS, and you know what? I bet if you were to Google this first sentence right here, you would see how many people model this framework. You'd find it on sales letters everywhere. PS, in case you're one of those people, like me, who just skipped to the end of the letter, here's the deal. I'm offering a 68-page book that outlines how to get high-paying clients, even if no one has ever heard of you. The book is $560. I'm also walking you through a stealth persuasion system that I created that's causing qualified prospects to ask me to help them, then turns them into high-paying clients for me. Don't worry, stealth doesn't mean sneaky or anything like that. It's 100% built on goodwill and being helpful. What's important about this is it doesn't use any pressure, convincing, or any of the typical stuff you might associate with sales. And in my experience, it simply works better. On top of that, I'm also giving you a 90-minute online training free, which shows you exactly how to implement what you learn in the book. This is a very limited offer because it's a marketing test. There's no catch to this offer. You will not be signing up for any trial to some monthly program or anything like that. In fact, if you don't like the book, let me know, and I'll even give you back the $560. You don't even need to send the book back. Click here and claim your copy now. You won't regret it. So what I did was I summarized, recapped, and repitched, right? So that is the framework for a long-form sales letter. This sales letter framework sells this at about 10% conversion, meaning 10 out of every 100 complete and total strangers that see that letter buy the book, and the average person who buys the book is worth, as of today, let's have a look here. Let's see what it says in the ClickFunnels. Well, today it says $87, but I think that's a little bit inflated. Let's look at it over the past 3 days, right? Because I'm just having insanely good luck this morning. So let's have a look over time, right? To give you a more accurate thing. Yeah, worth about $49. That makes sense. That's just from this one particular campaign over the past couple days here, right? And look at this. Remember I just told you it's 10%? So I don't know if I can zoom that thing in or not, but I think you can see it on the screen. It says unique visitors, 439. Look how many book sales, 46. That's slightly better than 10% conversion. So this framework is awesome. So look, like I told you, you are really, as Gary Halbert used to say, man, one sales letter can totally change everything for you. That's what this one sales letter framework has done for me with 2 separate books already, right? 2 of them. It's not a fluke. I use the same framework for both of these babies. They both sold like crazy. Any other book I write from now on, same framework. It's just plug and play. Okay, so if you want that little graph thingy or that little cheat sheet that I made for you, go ahead, text notes to 858-239-1008. We'll send it to you. You're also going to get a lot of notes that don't make sense because I ain't done teaching you copy. So it took me significantly longer to teach this segment than what I thought. So what I'm going to do for you is we're going to go on break now as scheduled. I'm going to come back. I'm going to show you the 5 main information products that you can sell. And then after that, I'm going to show you the video sales letter framework. So we're going to go a little bit longer today, assuming that it's cool with Sassy. You cool with that? No lower third needed. Yeah. Right. So this is obviously not part of the product. This is the behind the scenes stuff, right? So we went a little bit longer than planned, but I really wanted to be thorough for you because, man, I really believe this. One sales letter makes all the difference in the world, right? So here's our agenda for the rest of the day. I'm going to show you the 5 main products that you can sell in your book funnel, right? So the question is, hell, I know how to sell stuff. I know how to get them to buy the book, right? That sales letter thing makes perfect sense to me, but what about my one-click upsells? What about my Slack adjuster products? What am I going to sell there? How do I get those made? So I'm going to show you those. And then our third presentation for the day is I'm going to show you the $1 billion video sales letter framework. And yeah, that literally is billion with a B. When I emailed you about this, I was like, man, I had to teach this to a group who paid $100,000 and I was super nervous. That was true. The presentation number 3 today, that's what I'm going to be sharing with you. I meant to share it with you this morning, but I just took extra time to teach you this, all right? What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to I'm going to show you exactly what to sell now, right? Because we know a book funnel has got multiple components, right? Of course, there's the book, and this is the easy part, but then we have that liquidation funnel, like I showed you in our earlier segment, where it was like, okay, there's some one-click upsells and stuff. Well, what do you sell there? And then there's the Slack adjuster or main thing, right? Which can be another product or another course or another offer. So what we're going to focus on right now are the various types of information products that you can sell using a book funnel, or really in general, right? So these are awesome. But before we do, would you like to join me in a little obsessive compulsive disorder activity? So I believe that the more times you hit refresh, the more money you make. So a little while ago, hang on a minute. A little while ago this morning, I was like, hey, here are the Facebook stats for yesterday. And we ended up making around 9% immediately yesterday. And then we had another 50% in receivables. And I showed you this morning's stats, and they were pretty good. So naturally, during the break, I'm like, immediately, let's hit refresh on the stats. So let's see where we are. So we'll go. We've had a couple more sales. This is for my book funnel right now, and this is for one campaign. I have multiple campaigns running, but this is a Facebook campaign that I'm testing myself. I just started testing it a couple days ago. It's a little bit new. So this is for this morning. Let me hit refresh one more time here, and let's see if anything happened. I tell you, usually the more times you hit refresh, the more money you get. So we're at 8 book sales, and it says we collected $489, but look, you see these guys right here? ClickFunnels, notice it says value is 0. That's because these are one-click upsells, and for whatever reason, ClickFunnels, this Brunson hates us. He doesn't really. It doesn't count it towards that, so we got to add 97 times 3. Let's see here. Hang on. 97 times 3 is 291 plus that other total plus 489. 80 is we've now collected $780 in sales today, and we also have, remember, these are multi-pays, so this one is a 3-pay. That means this one person, they're going to pay me $97 2 more times, and these are 2 pays, so these 2 people, they're each going to pay me $97 again. I'm not even counting those receivables. So what do we spend? So that campaign, or that little funnel rather, correlates to, I'll hit refresh again on this one, that correlates to these 2 guys right here. These are both going to that page, and we spent, let's see, we're going to round up to $350 here. Not quite $350, but I'll round up to $350 for easy math, right? So pretty freaking cool. Spent $350 so far today on this one campaign, and got more, $780. How about that? How do you like them apples? I'll take it, right? That's like a double in the money. I put $1 in, I'm getting 2 out. That's what these book funnels are supposed to do. Now, of course, that could change over the course of the day. It happens to be that both times we've done this, it's just like we're having incredibly good luck. Like I showed you, yesterday it started out really high, and then we ended up still making money for the day, but we just got a little 9% return. And that's fine because of those future payments that are coming in from people taking the payment plans and stuff. If I get to put $1 in, get $1 back out, I'm still happy because I got a buyer. I know they'll buy stuff from me later if I do a good job for them, right? So let's talk about, what do we sell them? Okay, because how do you actually build something that's going to allow you to do what I'm showing you right here, which is pretty cool? Well, we got to have more stuff to sell than just the book. Okay, so what I'm going to do for you now is I'm going to try to do 2 things with one activity here, and that is I want to simultaneously show you what to sell, and I also want to demonstrate how to perform a webinar like I showed you during that one-page webinar thing, where I walked you through that in our last presentation that I did for you yesterday. Remember, I was like, hey, here's a one-page webinar framework. So what I'm going to share with you now is, most importantly, here's what to sell and how to do it. And secondarily, here's how to do a one-page webinar thing. So we'll see if we can do 2 at once. You'll tell me, right? So here we go. All right, now we'll go back into the official sounding part of it, all right? And this has so many slides. Sassy, if you could do more on the slides than me, because there's a lot of visual stuff, and we'll do our usual cut to the, I'll just tell you what to cut to since we're very subtle and professional that way. So we'll start with the slides, if you don't mind there, homie. Cool. All right, let's get into teaching mode here. Very serious, very serious. I'm wearing a blazer, for God's sake. Right. Okay, so the name of this presentation is What to Sell. And what I want to do is I want to show you the 3 most responsive markets, and then I want to show you the 5 different types of info products you can sell them. And there are really 2 categories of info products. There's the product category, and then there's the big ticket category. This is about the product category. We're going to cover the big ticket category in another module that I'm going to be sharing with you later during this training. Okay, so this is all about the actual products, how to create products and what people want to buy. So if you don't know me already, my name is Frank Kern. That's me in the picture. And I'm known as, don't really know if this is true, but people say it is the highest paid direct response internet marketing copywriter and consultant in the world, exclusively serving the information business, which is nice. I get to advise celebrities and authors. I've helped Tony Robbins build campaigns. I've helped authors like Neil Strauss build campaigns, Brenda Burchard, Dean Graziosi. It goes on and on, which is pretty fun. I've been doing this since 1999, specifically working in the field of selling information. So I've never had an internet business that sells tires or vitamins or anything. It's always been information, and I do this stuff every single day, all day, every day. Never, ever, well, maybe sometimes take a day off if I go on vacation or, or something like that. I didn't work when my children were born, but pretty much every single day because I love it. I absolutely love doing this stuff. So here's what we're going to do during this presentation. Number 1 is I want to show you the 3 biggest and newest opportunities that are in the information business, that are in our category, so to speak. Number 2, I'm going to show you really what people are buying. So there are really only 5 major product types. It might seem like there's this overwhelming array of things that you have to create, but there aren't really. There are 5 major product types, and most folks only have a couple of them, so you don't really need to make all 5 of these. And then I'm going to help you formulate a game plan. And that game plan is going to be, well, which one of these is right for me, right? How do I use this? And if I'm building a book funnel, what's my main thing that's going to contribute to having that book funnel be profitable and all that? So we'll figure it out today. And in the third part, I'm going to hopefully instill a sense of certainty and confidence in you because I'm going to show you how to find customers with money right now. Excuse me. Keep losing my voice here. I rarely talk this much. So anyway, I'll show you where and specifically how to find customers with money right now, which is really cool. And finally, if I can pull this off, and I think I can, I will eliminate overwhelm completely because this whole shebang can be run with only 4 web pages and 3 tools, and that's really it. So that's pretty sweet. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. And this is significantly different than what you're probably used to seeing. This isn't just another webinar about info marketing where it's like, yay, info marketing is good. Look how much money I make. That's not what we're going to do. Instead, I want to dive way deeper in that. I want to show you 3 multi-billion-dollar opportunities that are exploding right now in the information business. And I'm not going to bore you with my personal story or any promises of you getting rich. Instead, this is literally a class, and the class is on the 3 different opportunities that are out there in the 5 product types, how to find customers, and how to get started right now. And here's the deal. The game has changed, and boy, has it ever changed. So it used to be a lot different selling information, but now the game has completely changed, and here's what's going on. Number 1, selling information, it's not, I probably used to be positioned as, hey, you can get rich doing nothing. You create an information product, you sit around, and you just get paid while you're at the beach. I mean, you can have days like that, for sure, but it's not really about that. There isn't an easy button anymore, but it takes work. The difference is we got really hard work or we have smart work. And I'm going to show you some ways to work very smart today. And then there's this is a fundamental truth regardless. If we want a good harvest, using a farming metaphor, we got 2 choices. We can plant seeds with your bare hands, or we can use a tractor, right? Both of them involve you planting the seeds. Either way, you got to plant the seeds, but doing it with your hands is a lot harder than using a tractor. So metaphor is, I'm going to show you sort of how to use that tractor today. But if you're not willing to do the work, then don't expect a harvest. It's not going to happen. You want the fruit, you got to plant the trees. All right? Now, third truth is I'm going to show you some revenue figures and stuff today. And I'm not going to even remotely insinuate that you're going to achieve those revenue figures or anything. I'm just showing you what's working for me, and I'm going to show you what's working in some markets. But please don't take that as an insult to your intelligence by me saying, oh, hey, you're going to get rich overnight if you just do what I say or buy my stuff. I have no psychic powers, unfortunately. If I did, I would just tell you what stocks to buy. I'd be like, hey, let's all go long in this one. It's going to work great. But I'm not psychic. And finally, at the end of this presentation, this is a huge surprise, I know, but try to hide your shock here. I'm going to invite you to work with me today. That's a clever way of saying I'm going to make you an offer at the end of this. And that's not okay with you. That's fine. You'll know right when I'm making the offer, so you can just quit paying attention then. But up until that point, you should really pay attention because I think if you do, you're going to be really interested in what the offer is. So let's get started, man. This is cool. So I believe that we are right now in the most prosperous time in the history of mankind. And I think that the people that are alive today, especially in the civilizations that we live in and the societies that we live in that have access to the internet, I think we have more opportunity than any other group of humans in the history of the world. In fact, there was an article, I think it was in Forbes or Fortune, that said that right around 1,700 people become a millionaire every single day, which is amazing. So one of these giant opportunities that we're faced with is selling information online. And the reason why selling info online is so great is, number one, because of the lifestyle. And like I said, I'm not going to insult your intelligence and be like, okay, dude, you can just have a laptop and sit around and get paid, but you can work really hard and build an asset like we talked about earlier, and that asset can actually pay you passively or semi-passively. So there are circumstances where you can take a significant amount of time off and your business can continue to provide you with revenue, which is really cool. Another great thing about information, especially if you sell downloadable information, is there's really no cost of goods sold. Right? So our net profit is extremely high, which is awesome. Okay, so if we went and sold a car for $300,000, our profit on that car sale might be like $7,000. So we had to get $300,000 out of somebody if we're selling a really high-end car to make $7,000. If we sell a $7,000 info product or a course or an event or whatever, we kind of get to keep most of that $7,000, which is unlike almost any business in the world, which is great. And this is also an easy business to start and run. Simple, I should say. Nothing about business is ever particularly easy. But look, there's 4 web pages and there's 3 tools, but 4 if you want to get fancy. Really good thing about this business is it is totally exploding. So here are the 3 huge opportunities that we have right now. Just unbelievable. The first one is a segment of the information market called e-learning. And this is a big one. I'll write this one down because fortunes are being made in this segment right now, and they will continue to be made. So a fancy way of saying online learning for professional advancement is to say e-learning. But that's what e-learning really means, is information product that is geared towards professional advancement. So if we're training people on how to use a software application, that is considered e-learning, right? If we're teaching people how to do bookkeeping better, if we're teaching people how to be better at their jobs, anything like that, that's in the e-learning category. And it's absolutely exploding right now. And here's an interesting story that will really illustrate this. So this lady looks pretty happy in that picture, right? She is, first of all, she's awesome in general because of what she used to do. So I think I've got the story right. She worked as, I want to say graphics or something to do with graphics on movies. And one of the movies she worked on was Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, which was the sequel to Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, which was a great movie. And I think she also worked on RoboCop or one of the RoboCop movies. So first of all, this lady, she could have just done that and she'd be awesome, right? But her backstory is what really makes her cool. So back like around the time she was doing that stuff, she started a little school, like an actual building, like people went to the building, and she taught web design, like how to build websites and stuff. So it was doing pretty good. And then 9/11 happened, which kind of screwed everything up. So people would come from all over the place to go to her school, like to literally show up and sit in a room and learn web design. But then 9/11 happened, nobody wanted to travel, people got freaked out, and no one was coming to the school anymore. So she had a choice, right? She was like, well, I could just give up or I could make it work. So she and her husband were like, well, why don't we just try to do this online? Okay, so this is in 2002. So they had like this thriving business with staff and everything. 9/11 happens, they have to shut it down. No good. They say, well, let's try to sell it online. And you know what? Have you ever had that? Like, okay, I'm going to launch this business online. It's going to be great, and obviously the next day orders come in and you're rich, right? Wrong, said everybody. It almost never happens. And her first month kind of sucked. She only had 3 people, or rather 30 people. subscribe to our service in the first month. And man, you know, I've been there. I know you've probably been there where you think something's going to be great and you're like, oh, it didn't start out as well as I'd hoped. And then we have two choices. We can give up or we can stay focused. And she decided to stay focused. And I think that's always the right course of action. And if you recognized her, that's because she is Linda. Yeah, that Linda. Linda from lynda.com. Her name's Linda Weinman. She sold that little web design school that she started and failed in brick and mortar because of 9/11 and then started doing it online. That thing grew to lynda.com. She sold it to LinkedIn for $1.5 billion. What does lynda.com sell? E-learning information products. That's it, right? Just e-learning info products. So that's pretty sweet. So clearly there's a market for this kind of thing, right? So not just her story, right? So you have to wonder, well, why would LinkedIn pay all that money for lynda.com? Well, according to Forbes, in this article right here, it says the e-learning industry was poised for $107 billion in 2015. That's really the most recent stat that I could find. I know obviously it's not 2015 right now, but I haven't found any thing that I believe to be as credible as Forbes to give a stat, but it's clearly growing, right? So even if it didn't, even if it just stayed flat at $107 billion over the past 2 years, dude, it's a $107 billion industry. So that's why LinkedIn bought lynda.com, because it's just such a huge, huge industry. Here is another article from e-learning industry. What these folks do is, because e-learning is such a major, massive, wealthy industry, you have now these little subsidiary companies that will sort of do research into it. And this company, elearningindustry.com, sort of surveyed a lot of businesses. And it said 44% of companies intend to purchase learning tools and systems online. What does that mean? That's e-learning. That means 44% of companies intend to buy this. Well, gosh, are there a lot of companies out there? Yeah, 44% of them say, yeah, we want to buy this stuff. Doesn't it make sense to maybe offer it to them, right? So businesses and consumers are buying online information like crazy, and the demand is just growing more and more, but it gets better, right? So check this out. If you look at this report, this is from a company called Ibis World. It shows that business coaching, now this isn't even consulting, this is business coaching, is a $12 billion per year market just in the United States. So that excludes every other country in the world that does business coaching, not consulting, just coaching. $12 billion. And it says that it's expected to grow by $816 million per year. That's almost $1 billion a year. This is growing, this one field. What is it? That's information. That's all it is information. Coaching is information. So when you look at a book funnel and you say, what can I sell? What's the main thing I can sell with my book funnel? And you consider coaching, well, there's a pretty freaking good market for it, right? It's $12 billion a year just in the business coaching field. So here's the fact, right? There's an amazing opportunity and growth in the multi-billion-dollar industry of selling information and coaching to businesses, right? We know e-learning, blam, $107 billion per year. We know business coaching, just coaching in the U.S., $12 billion per year. So one market, obviously, is businesses. And it wasn't always like this. When I said the game has changed earlier, this is what I mean. See, years ago, when we sold information products and you tried to sell an info product to a business owner, they were like, what the hell is it? What, you want me to go to the internet and buy something about my business? Who the hell are you? Are you crazy? Right? And that wasn't long ago. That was just like 5 or 6 years ago. It was hard to sell this stuff to businesses, right? So everyone watching this who loves marketing and loves helping small business, if you were in the game back then and you were trying to sell to businesses, dude, it was horrible. It was hard because it was alien to them. Now it's a $107 billion industry just selling courses to businesses through e-learning alone. Business coaching is $12 billion a year just in the United States. So this is a brand new opportunity. This is in its infancy. This isn't something that's ages old and has been around forever. This is like the beginning of the tidal wave. So this is big waves that's kind of growing. So if you have that kind of knowledge, I strongly suggest you get in front of that sucker and ride it to the beach, baby, because it's a good one, right? But it's not just business, right? So now niche info products are also becoming huge. So what does that mean? Well, a niche information product is really something that's just an info product, like a how-to product that's sold to consumers. So it's an info product that has nothing to do with business, right? really, really popular. I made a lot of money selling these types of products. Here's some examples, okay? So here's a little downloadable book of paleo recipes, right? So you can go buy this online. This sells for $37. Last I checked, this particular book, you can download it, it's $37, right? Here's one. Obviously, I have this one at home in my library. It is the belly dancing course, The Ultimate Masterclass. DVD number 3 is really difficult. It looks like it has DVDs and stuff, but this is an online course, info product, sells for $47. This is a niche info product, right? This is a small niche for belly dancing, right? The other one, the paleo one, that's a small niche. It's paleo people. Well, by small, I mean a couple million people probably strong, right? So not that small. Here's another one, right? This is an online course, info product, about how to get pregnant naturally. Pretty sure that's kind of a self-explanatory thing on how to do, right? Don't pay the cable bill, got nothing else to do, next thing you know, pregnant, okay? But anyway, whatever, right? So this thing, $47, right? It's an online downloadable course, $47 is what you can download it for. Okay, here's another example, right? This is for Ayurvedic medicine and stuff, so health-related, $67. This is online videos and ebooks and stuff. Here's another one, right? This one's great. I mean, look at this still shot. This is so awesome. How would you like to be the guy getting choked out? Like, hey, I recognize you from the internet. Are you the guy who's getting choked by the other dude at the beach, right? This thing, how to kick other people's butts, $135. Awesome, right? All of these things are classic examples of niche info products, okay? So that business is growing like crazy. And that business was a lot harder to do research on because when it came to e-learning stuff, I was able to go to Forbes and be like, okay, clearly we see the e-learning growth. There's eLearning Institute, eLearningIndustry.com. They gave us those stats. There's huge research companies like Ibis World that give us those stats for business coaching and things. So we know we're really able to do the good research into here. We definitely have empirical evidence that businesses are buying information online like crazy. When it came to proving that individuals are buying niche-related information businesses online, it was a lot harder to do because it's so fragmented, right? There's not like an association of people who make ebooks and stuff. There just isn't. So what I had to do is I had to reverse engineer it, and here's how I did it. You all have probably all heard about ClickBank, right? So ClickBank is a payment processor like PayPal that takes credit cards from people and then they'll give it to you. So I'm sure you all know what ClickBank is. They're a good company. Well, most of their vendors, meaning most of the people who sell stuff using ClickBank as a payment processor, they sell niche information products. In fact, all of those products I showed you, I got by researching ClickBank. So I figured, okay, if we know that ClickBank is a giant payment processor that actually takes the money in exchange for all of these niche-related info products and then sells it to then pays each individual publisher the money, then if we can figure out what their sales growth looks like, we can sort of extrapolate that to what the industry as a whole is doing. Does that make sense? So I was like, well, how in the hell do you do that? And then I got out the old checkbook and I found a company, and the company is called Privco, and apparently you can buy all kinds of research on companies through this thing. So I wrote a little check here and I bought the research on ClickBank. So it says that this is the revenue, $485 million. And the most recent one I could find was for 2015. I don't know why it was harder to find stuff more recent than 2015. But as you can tell, that really doesn't matter because of the history. So we show right here, the last little bit of research we have is they did $485 million in sales of niche info products. Again, these are like if you went and you wanted to sell an ebook, you could have ClickBank as your payment processor, and you sell it, ClickBank takes some money, and they pay you most of the money for that sale. They take a little fee for themselves. That's how they make money. So they sold $485 million worth of these products. Now, here's why this is important. If we look at this graph here, again, this is what I paid for from Privco. We can see in 2013, they did $279 million. In 2014, they did $351 million. In 2015, they did $485 million. They grew by $200 million just between those 2 years. That's a 37% growth per year on average, which is insane, which means it's doubling every 3 years at that rate. Doubling. Boom, boom, boom. Would you like to be in an industry that's doubling every 3 years, right? So all we're really determining right now is proof. We're like, these are areas where people are buying a lot of information products. What's the number one rule of marketing? Sell stuff that people want to buy. How do you know if people want to buy it? Look and see if they're already buying it, right? So we know that they're buying it. So we know this industry is doubling every 3 years. And by the way, the evidence isn't just with this ClickBank report. So online niche info products are actually now normal, okay? So if you were to go back, if you and I hopped in our handy dandy time machine, got the DeLorean out or whatever, right, from Back to the Future, and we drove back to, let's say, 2011 even, and we're like, yeah, I sell, ebooks online about how to, whatever, right? How to have a healthy relationship or something. People be like, what are you talking about? Not anymore. It's totally normal. That's mainstream. It's normal for people to buy information products online, even if it has nothing to do with business, even if it's just stuff that they're interested in. Here's a classic example. I think you all recognize this dude, right? This is our main man, little buddy, Brendan Burchard. Guess whose website this is on? Little lady you might have heard of, her name's Oprah, right? Oprah had Brendan on her site. Oprah featured Brendan. What does this site sell right here? Look at this. This is actually a niche information product sold by Brendan, offered on Oprah Winfrey's website. Let me ask you a question. Can you get more mainstream than that? So most of you guys watching, or a lot of you guys watching, have been around for a long time. So you remember this, right? Where like what we do, we were kind of like, not by choice, but we were these sort of obscure, like who are these people? And they're selling stuff on the internet, and what the hell does that mean? And is this legitimate? And now, totally mainstream. What that means is consumers no longer think that it's weird to buy an information-based product about anything online. Totally normal. It's on Oprah, for God's sake, right? So that's great. That means it's a huge opportunity. So niche information products growing, doubling every 3 years at minimum, just based on that research from ClickBank, probably even more because now it's totally mainstream, which is awesome, right? So the fact of the matter is the niche info market is absolutely exploding, which is good, right? But that's not all. There's a third huge opportunity for us, and that is personal coaching. So what does personal coaching mean? Well, that's really any coaching that doesn't have to do with business, right? So the most commonly used term is life coaching, but there's so much more to that. But there's people say, life coaching, right? Well, check it out. Used to be, life coaching was something that a lot of people would sort of make fun of. They'd be like, oh yeah, life coaching, that's just what you do if you don't know what the hell you're doing. Well, I got apparently 2 billion reasons per year why that's actually not an accurate assessment of life coaching at all. According to Fast Company, life coaching is a $2 billion per year industry. So here, come back to me, Sass. If you wanted to, you could go book funnel to some info products if you wanted to, and then your main thing could be life coaching or any type of personal coaching, right? So according to the Life Coaching Institute, right, life coaching has been the world's second fastest growing industry for the last 3 years. Do you want to go where money is flowing or where it's drying up? All right, and all 3 of these areas, money is flowing. It is not drying up. That's what I'm really trying to prove to you, that we always want to go where money is, right? The world never runs out of money. It just moves from one industry to the next. Money is moving to these industries really, really quickly and in great volume, right? So it's the second fastest growing industry in the world for the last 3 years, according to the Life Coaching Institute, which is amazing. But it's not just life coaching. That's such a general term, right? So I just did some digging online for just various coaching stuff that didn't have to do with business. Here's one. This is just really to help you feel a little bit better and kind of not feeling crappy, and how to make yourself feel like you look a little better. This lady's name is Erin Lashley, right? And she does like that kind of personal coaching around health and wellness. Last price I saw for her on her site was $1,796 over a 4-month period. Pretty simple, right? So imagine you have a book, How to Feel Fabulous in That Frock. I'm just stealing the copy from the banner here. Sells the book. You maybe have a nice little book funnel there, and the main thing she wants to sell is that coaching. $796. Or $1,796. Pretty sweet, right? Clearly a viable thing to do. Here's one. This is really cool. And this is from Business Insider, by the way. This is a lady, and she's in the personal coaching area, and she's doing dating coaching. And according to Business Insider here, she's doing $20,000 a month teaching introverted men how to be successful with women. Now check this out. Here's what's really cool. Come back to me, Sass. In that very article, she mentions this book is helping her get her business going, which was great. I don't know her personally. Her name's Sarah Jones, but that really makes me happy to know that this one little book helped her out, right? That's what I'm telling you. Book funnels, man. That's reason number 9 million why you should have a book funnel. One person, I don't even know, gets this book. I'm not responsible for her success at all, but I'm glad to have at least contributed to it in that small way. When you do this kind of stuff, when you create information products, you have a book funnel, you sell products like I'm showing you now, it's not just about the money. Like, people use them. And remember when we were talking about things being your first language, but they're like ninth language, and they don't know what you know, and that's why it's really important to actually help people get these results? You're leveraging your ability to actually do good in the world, which is really, really freaking cool. So it's an interesting coincidence, right? This is an example of one of the areas, and she actually read my book. Pretty cool. So thank you for saying nice things about me in that article, Miss Jones. I appreciate that, and best of luck to you with what you're doing. So here's another one, right? This is kind of funny. So let's say you got an introverted fella, and he hires Sarah Jones, and next thing you know, he gets himself a wife, and next thing you know, they've got kids, and now they need another coach. Now there's parenting coaches, right? So it's not just life coaching, it's not just health, it's not just relationships, it could be anything. According to this article here by ABC News, people pay up to $2,000 for parenting coaches. Here's another one where they're paying $300 a month for parenting coaching, right? So that area of personal coaching, life coaching alone is $2 billion a year, but it's not just life coaching. That's not even including all these other areas, right? It's amazing. I have a client and friend, her name is Brooke Castillo. She has a $12,000 program to help people stop overeating. $12,000, not life coaching, not parenting coaching, not relationship coaching. And they love it. She has a waiting list. Huge, right? Really, really cool. So major opportunity. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So we know where these opportunities are, right? We know that personal coaching is exploding. We know that, here we go. We know that e-learning and business coaching is ridiculous. It's over 100 billion. We know that niche info products, they're doubling every 3 years if we sort of use that Privco data I bought, right? We know they're going mainstream. Good Lord, Brendan was on Oprah for crying out loud. I mean, come on. We've had our people. Jeff Walker's hit New York Times, right? It's all about selling info products online. Brendan's hit New York Times, right? So, this stuff is really mainstream now. And we know that personal coaching is also just very, very popular, and it's growing, according to that company, second fastest growing industry in the world, which is really, really cool. So what's awesome is not only is there massive opportunity where people want to buy things, we have more opportunity than ever to actually find buyers, right? So come back to me. We're selling this thing, right? Or this, or any product. And this is the greatest product ever, but we almost dropped it on my computer. But we can't find buyers to put it in front of. We're screwed, right? What's the point of having this awesome information? We create these products, and we can't find buyers. So again, I'll sort of age myself here, but what the opportunity we have today, we didn't have even 5 years ago. To really be able to get in front of people through advertising like we can now, right? I'll show you how in a minute, because earlier today, I just showed you today's sales numbers where we're up about 100%. We're doubling the money on advertising. So I'll show you kind of how to do your targeting and stuff. But first, what do we sell them? Okay, so we know where people are buying stuff. We know those 3 areas. But what do we actually sell them? Well, let's do it, okay? So here we are. This is now officially part 2 of today's presentation. So I'm going to show you your 5 product types, and I want to help you come up with a plan to actually sell them, okay? So I got to give you this warning, and I want to give you this warning. It's important. We're going to talk about making money, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about this within the context of a planning exercise. I'm going to help you set some goals. The reason I want to help you do that is I don't think we can really get anywhere unless we have a very clear definition of exactly where we want to go. So in doing this and in helping you set a goal, this is not some psychological manipulation of me trying to say, okay, this is what you're going to make or whatever. I'm literally just trying to help you reverse engineer a solid plan so you can figure out which one of these 5 product types makes the most sense to you. So we can help you get started and you can start making it and get going, right? So none of this is some sort of hey, you're going to get rich or anything like that. I think you understand, but it's important, right? I don't want to be like all these other people. It's not my style. Okay, so let's go. All right? So here we go. The first thing we want to do is we want to set the goal. And let's just say whatever your goal is fine, by the way. Okay, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to choose $100,000 because it's a nice round number. It's easy math. Okay, so let's say that the goal is you want to create a passive or semi-passive $100,000 asset. Now remember earlier in yesterday's presentation, we talked about shifting our focus, that billionaire mentality. We're not going to think about products and promos. We're going to think about assets, right? Remember? Created this sucker in 2012 or something. I can't remember, 2012 or 13, still selling it, right? I just showed you today that money that was made today was from this guy, okay? We want to build that asset. So let's say just whatever your number is totally cool, but I'm going to use, for example, $100,000. We want to create something that's going to passively, or at least semi-passively, pay $100,000 of revenue over the course of a year. Okay, so If we do that and we divide that $100,000 by 12, that's $8,333.33 a month. And just for the sake of keeping it easy, I'll just round that up to $8,500 a month, right? So let's say now the goal is we want to make $8,500 per month in revenue. Okay, so that's what we want to do. So now that we have a target, let's look at the 5 different types of information products and how they might be sold to actually reach that goal. Okay, so here's the first one. The first one's called a liquidator, all right? And that's typically, well, actually, I'll just give you the product types and then I'll walk you through them. Second one's called bread and butter. Third one's called a modulated course. I'm sure you've heard of those. The fourth one's called big ticket interactive. And the fifth one is continuity. I love all of these. I've sold all of them. And my book funnels actually sell every single one of these, which is pretty cool. So you don't have to do all 5 of them, but I just realized I've got all 5. Pretty nice. So what's a liquidator, right? Well, a liquidator is usually something that's under $30. It's a cheap product, right? Now, by cheap, I mean inexpensive. This could be an ebook. It could be a special report. It could be a book like mine, right, which I now deliver online. So technically that's an ebook. They're almost always used in funnels where other sales are made, like a book funnel, for example, right? Pretty rare to have a business that only sells liquidators. Like, if all I sold was my book and I didn't have all the other stuff in the funnel, I would lose money every single day, right? Because I'm spending like $30 now, sometimes more, to sell a $5.60 book. So the economics don't make sense. I have to have the other product types, right? So if we wanted to do $8,500 in sales and I'm selling something for $30, I got to sell 284 of them. That's about 10 sales per day. It's not impossible, but then you got to factor in advertising and stuff. Kind of hard to live on a liquidator product alone. So our next product type is called bread and butter. And I call it bread and butter for a reason, because this can make you kind of bread and butter revenue, right? So most, or not most, but many online info businesses survive on this type of product alone. And so these can be between $30 and $500. And they're almost always multimedia products, so it's usually going to be PDFs with some screen cam videos or maybe audios or something like that. You know the drill on that. In fact, the niche product examples I gave you earlier, like the dude choking the other guy on the beach and how to get yourself pregnant and all that kind of stuff, those are all classic examples of bread and butter products, right? Every single one of those was a bread and butter niche info product. So if your bread and butter product was $100, you would need to sell 85 of those per month to make that $8,500, which equates to $100,000 a year. Okay, so that's just under 3 a day. So that now becomes a lot more doable, right? It becomes less of a daunting task. 3, less than 10, mathematically speaking, right? In fact, if we come over here and we look at this, right? Hey, you know what? Let's see if we got any more money. I'm going to hit refresh. You never know. Every time you hit refresh, the refresh button's clearly broken. So all of these right here, bread and butter, bread and butter, bread and butter. All this extra revenue is bread and butter. I even have a little bread and butter, it's called an order bump in my book funnel. So the book is $560. They can check a little box to add another thing for $37. That's bread and butter. So I've only sold 8 $5.60 books today. But because of my bread and butter products in the funnel, I brought in $489 plus whatever these other 3 are. What was that, $281 or something? So I forgot the number, $700 something, right? So this is all powered by bread and butter. So let's get back over here to this right here. Trained professional. Okay, so you can kind of live just on bread and butter products if you want to, because you don't have to make that many sales of them, which is pretty cool, right? So really, really nice. If the product was $250 instead of $100, you'd only need to sell 34 of them per month. That's 8 sales a week, so that's like 1 point something sale per day. So my bread and butter products, one's $297, and the other one is 2 payments of $97, which is $194. Is that right? Yeah, $194. Just to give you an idea of the pricing on mine. And those things, that's what allows me to put $1 in and get. Yesterday I got $1.09. Today I'm getting like what, $2 out for every $1 I put in so far. So it's working pretty good, right? So bread and butters are smart. Now the third type is a modulated course. Now remember when I outlined the book funnel blueprint for you, and I said you got your book, you got your funnel, and then you got your Slack adjuster, right? And then you have your main thing if you want to. Slack adjuster is optional, right? This modulated course can be your Slack adjuster, or it could be your main thing, okay? So these are the blockbuster courses you're used to seeing online. Right? So when you see a big product launch, like right now today, I've gotten 7 million emails about the same product launch. I'm like, guys, geez. Okay, I'm getting an email from every affiliate of this one dude, and it's cool. I hope he makes $1 billion, but it is a little annoying. But just about every big internet marketing course you ever see falls into this format of a modulated course. And these are usually between $500 and $3,500. In the internet marketing space, they're almost always $1,997. And I don't think there's any reason for that. I think no one's ever just split test anything to see the price. I think it worked for one person, and then they're like, screw it, man. It seems like it worked for them. Let's just copy them. So that's kind of what you see, right? So they're usually a little more expensive, and they're a lot more valuable. It's why. These are always multimedia, right? Always. It's always got PDFs and videos and stuff. And they're always mission specific, right? So a great example of a modulated course is Jeff Walker's product launch formula, right? Excellent course, by the way. I'm sure all of y'all have it. If you don't, you should. And that is a mission specific course, meaning that one course shows you how to do a thing, which is do a product launch, right? And these guys are always, these types of courses are always drip fed in modules over a set period of time. And that's a fancy way of saying you join the class, you get module 1 as soon as you join, then it waits 7 days, and you get module 2, etc. That's kind of the way those work. And that helps your customer not get overwhelmed with material. That's why you want to do that, right? So that's kind of how those are set up. For many online information businesses, this is the cornerstone of the business. All the way up until last August, it was the cornerstone of mine. Modulated courses were. Now I don't really do them. I just have one thing I'll tell you about later today. It's a lot cheaper, actually, but it works better for me. But for most people, you got guys like Brendan, right? Is modulated courses, right? Jeff Walker, modulated courses, right? Everybody, pretty much, right? They all sell modulated courses because they work. People like to buy them. They consume them well because of the way they're drip fed, and it's just a good, nice way to organize a product. But that's what type that is. Okay? So let's say your modulated course was $997. That means you would need to sell 9 of them per month to exceed that goal. Remember, we're trying to make 10 grand a month just randomly in this hypothetical example. So you need 9 of them. So that becomes even less intimidating than the other numbers I gave you. So your fourth product type is continuity. And continuity is interesting. It can range between $10 and $300 per month, even $400 per month. And of course, continuity is a fancy way of saying send them something every month and bill them. So that could be multimedia content delivered within a membership site. So just about any continuity program you see online, it's a membership site, right? It can also be lower ticket coaching. In some examples, for many information businesses, this is the only product. Remember, I told you that modulated courses used to be the cornerstone of my business? Not anymore. Now it's continuity. I have a continuity program called the Inner Circle. I'll tell you about it shortly because it's awesome. At $40 a month, let's say you're doing that, $40 a month, kind of random, you would need 213 members and you would exceed your goal. So that's $40, or 213 members, period. Assuming nobody left, right? And that's the nice thing about continuity. If you do a good job, people stay with you for a long time. You're not always having to promote, which is nice. If you're charging $300 a month, you need 29 members, and you would make more than that 10K. So now 29 members becomes it's very attainable in the mind, right? It's like, okay, how hard could it be to go out and get 29 members, right? So it's not that scary of a thing. And of course, you get them, and then you don't have to get many because hopefully people stay. So it's nice, right? So the next one is big ticket interactive, right? And these are really better as back-end products to a book funnel a lot of times. These are usually between $3,500 and $100,000, and seriously, I went and spoke to a $100,000 mastermind a couple weeks ago. These can be live facilitated modulated classes, right? So in the lower price point of these, between like $3,500 and $10,000, you could have a modulated class, and the big difference is every week when you release a new module, you get in a group call and you answer questions. That's called live facilitated. Okay, that's it. That's the whole thing, right? But that's how that works. These could be masterminds, right? So your typical mastermind is going to be between $10,000 and $100,000. It seems like the most popular price points around 25 grand. I think it's probably popularized by Joe Polish with his 25K group, which is a pretty good group. You have higher ticket coaching. That could be monthly. You could do that on a monthly basis or not. You have it as a flat fee. The bottom line, though, is this always involves some sort of live interactivity. Okay, so you've always got interaction with people. So that's what really separates this between other classes, is you're talking to them personally. It's either you or your staff, so that's what it is. So if yours was $3,500, you would need less than 3 sales per month to exceed the goal. Right, so when I was talking about some of my clients that have book funnels, you can come back to me if you want to. One of them is Lawrence Bensdorp, really super solid guy. Now he lives in Spain. He's awesome. He's got his book. There's no other products besides his coaching, which is 30 grand, all the way up to 100 grand. So it goes book, and then I hope you enjoy the book. Hey, if you'd like to talk to me about helping you do what you learned in the book, you can. And then ultimately it's like, hey, if you want to pay me 30 grand, I'll help you do this. And if you really want to pay me a lot, it can be 100 grand. I'll even help you some more. Better sales conversation than that, obviously. You got very happy customers, very simple model. Right? So there's the future is really, or your options really are kind of limitless in terms of what you can do in terms of using these types of products within your book funnel, which is awesome. So if you're doing like a monthly group coaching, let's say at $9.97 a month, you would only need 9 clients to get your goal. And once you got your 9, assuming they've stayed, you wouldn't have to get any more, which is kind of sweet. So big ticket interactive is good. Now tomorrow I'm going to take you in really deep dive with these big ticket models, but I wanted to give you an overview today of it, right? So here's what I want to do is I want to help you get crystal clear on where you're going. So I want to do a clarifier with you. So what I'd like you to do right now is I'd like you to write down your sales goal for the next 12 months, right? So let's just say you want to sell information, right? You probably already sell information, okay? But I want you to write that down, whatever that goal is for the next 12 months. And then I want you to divide that number by 12 to get the monthly goal, all right? So next, now based on gut feeling, okay? So when I was showing you those product types, there's probably something that jumped out at you and you were probably like, oh, I like that one. Just go with your gut right now. And then just choose a product type and a price. You're not married to this. You can change it at any moment, but for now, let's just develop a freaking plan, right? So be like, okay, I like that type of product, and I think I want to charge this for it, okay? So now what I want you to do is take that monthly number, divide it by your price to get how many sales you need, okay? So that's pretty simple, right? So if you wanted to make $10,000 a month and your price is $1,000, you got to get 10 sales. So you get the concept, right? And step number 5 is I want you to write this out, like literally write this out right now, longhand on a piece of paper and keep it near you. Because if you focus on this, you can attain this. If you stay focused and don't give in to shiny object syndrome, you can really set out to accomplish whatever you want, right? So here's the statement. I, state your name, will earn X dollars in sales by selling a blank product. That could be a liquidator. That could be a big ticket interactive. It could be a bread and butter, whatever. I will sell X products per month for X dollars each, right? So I'm curious to know, by a show of hands, everyone who actually wrote that down. So if you wrote it out for me, Tyler, let's do something cool, okay? And so you're going to bring me one of those big swipe files. Yeah, like the one that we sent my man. I want to do something cool for you guys real quick, all right? And this is all up to Tyler, all right? Ladies and gentlemen, here he is, Tyler Durden Dorsey. Oh, look at you. Oh, you missed him. Andrew, oh, that's amazing. Okay, yeah, I want to do something for you, okay? So, Tyler, you choose somebody, all right? So out of the comments, write down your statement, put it in the comments. If Tyler chooses you, I'm going to mail this to you, okay? So really very few people have these. The only people who have these paid me 15 grand to come to a very special workshop. This is my campaign copy. So these are the email frameworks. This is the email copy for every major campaign that I've ever done. And it's all printed out here for you. And I think we have like 4 or 5 of them. Tyler's going to pick someone from the comments and just tell me who it is. I'll congratulate them here, and he's just going to mail it to you. He'll get follow-up with you. So who are we sending? They had to write it out now. They had to write down the statement, I, state your name, will earn X per month in sales by selling a blank product. They had to actually do it. Who do we got? They have to tell us that, yeah, you can't just say blank, dude. You got to tell us the number. You have to write it in the comments, man. You have to publicly declare it. If you don't publicly declare it, nothing's going to happen. You don't set a big goal and keep it in your mind. You write it down, you declare it, you make it happen, you hold yourself accountable. Who are we sending this to? Ellis Tussier. This is coming to you, baby. All right, I'm going to write this to you right now. I'm going to sign this for you. To Ellis. Here's to your 100K. Okay, this is coming to you, buddy. All right, awesome. Thank you all. Anything I can do to get people moving, baby, taking action. Right? So now you have a solid goal, okay? You've chosen a product type. You know how many of them you want to sell to hit that goal? Well, let's talk about actually selling them, right? So now this is part 3 of what I want to help you with, which is how to find people to actually buy this stuff, right? Now, so what internet marketing did a long time ago is we did a lot of good by showing people how to get really inexpensive or free traffic through joint ventures. We also made a terrible mistake by becoming addicted to free traffic from joint ventures, which caused us to overlook the most profitable thing in the world, which is turning advertising into profit. At least that's my opinion. I think it's the most profitable thing in the world. So most folks would be like, yeah, you can find customers by doing a joint venture with somebody with this kind of list. You could, but you're going to pay more for it. And now you're going to be beholden to this person to promote them. Wouldn't it be cooler if like Facebook was your affiliate, right? I showed you the numbers earlier. I put $1 into Facebook. I've already gotten $2 out for every dollar today. Pretty sweet. Some days more, some days less, but you get the idea. So I want to show you how to do that because we've never really had this much opportunity to do it in the past. Okay, so how do you do it? Well, here's the thing. We know that we have these 3 markets, right? We've got the e-learning market. That segment's huge. We have the niche info product market. That segment is huge. And there's all kinds of sub-markets within there. We have the personal coaching market, and that's huge. Just hundreds of millions and billions of dollars, which is amazing, right? And we could access it from anywhere online. We can just get our stuff in front of any of these people. But when you're choosing a segment of those segments, you know, like what type of business, what type of niche or whatever, there's some criteria that I want to show you to help you really maximize your chances of success, okay? So here they are. There's 3 must-haves of any market. Number 1 is before you consider selling anything, whoever you're thinking of selling to, they have to meet every single one of these qualities, all right? Number 1, they have to be irrationally passionate. Do you know why e-learning is taking off so much? Because who is the most irrationally passionate person in the world? It's someone who owns a business, right? You guys own businesses. What do you do first thing in the morning? Check stats, check email, wonder about that business. What do you think about when you're going to sleep? Business. Am I going to get customers? Are my customers happy? You know, I think I got an idea. I could probably sell this. Always. We're the most irrationally passionate people in the world as business owners. You want a market that is irrationally passionate. Golfers are like this. New parents are like this, right? The bridal market is like this leading up to the wedding, right? So that's kind of examples of that. But you want that passion, that desire to be just insane. You want them to, they buy everything, right? Like you know that one golfer who buys every possible golfer thing. You know that one marketing person, it's me, who buys every possible marketing thing you can get. I really am that guy, and it's paid off for me. So I would do it all again if I could, right? So number 2 is they got to be great in number. Right? Like we can't have like a market and the sum total of that market is 5 people. They could be the most irrationally passionate people in the world and you're going to sell every one of them and then you're out of people to sell to. So they got to be great in number. And number 3, they have to be easily reached. And you know what? We really didn't have number 3 to the degree we have now. So years ago, we didn't have this advantage. We'd be like, yeah, we know that these people are irrationally passionate. Yeah, we know they're great in number, but man, it's hard to reach them. We got Google AdWords and they never let anybody advertise because of the dang Google slap. And then maybe we could find someone with a list of them to mail our stuff to, but you know, it was hard to do and all that kind of stuff. Now the game has changed so much in our favor. It's freaking awesome. So let's talk about it. You know, those of us who sell marketing related stuff, right? For us, the whale, like the white whale, you know, the holy grail customer is going to be a business owner with money. Right? So like it used to be, if you wanted to sell stuff to businesses, good luck online. Like how in the world do you reach them? You know, you can maybe get SEO, you can maybe do AdWords or something, but it's always really, really hard. Check this out, all right? Let's just say randomly that our ideal customer avatar is going to be a married American male business owner between the ages of 44 and 60 with money. Notice the red words, with money. Right? So let's say that's who we want to sell to for whatever reason, right? That's just like randomly who our perfect target is, all right? Well, check this out. With Facebook, and I was showing you Facebook numbers today, right? So with the Facebooks, okay, we have the ability now to actually find that person in moments, okay? So when you go to set up a Facebook ad, so I kind of showed you my Facebook stuff earlier, this is what it looks like when you set up an ad. And you can immediately say, okay, who do I want to target? Do I want to target everybody or just men's or the women's? So in this case, I'm going to select the men's. And then how old do you want them to be? And so we see that top red arrow, I'm saying between 44 and 60. And then you can click that more demographics button right here that's in the middle. And from there, you can select relationship and then relationship status. And from there, you can select any of these you want to. I'm going to select married, right? So we're trying to sell stuff to 44 to 60-year-old married business owners with money. Okay, so how do we find them? All right, well, we're in America. We chose America. We got our age. We got men. We got married, but they might not own businesses. They might not have any money. We're not quite there yet. So now, under this More Demographics button again, now it literally is taking me longer to show this to you than it is to actually do it, by the way. We now go to financial right here, and we can actually segment people we want to target by how much money they have and how much money they make. These are two separate things, right? So if I select net worth here, Facebook's going to say, okay, who do you want? Do you want people with net worth between 200,000 to 500, 500 to 750, 750 to a million to 200, or over or a million to 2 million, or over 2 million? Well, of course, we're going to select them all. If we want people with money, right? All those, pretty good bit of money, regardless, right? That's net worth, okay? So we can now, we got 44 to 60-year-old men, America, they're married, they got some money, okay? But how do we know they're business owners, right? How do we know that? Well, you can go again in that same tab from job title, and we can choose things like ownership of business, store owner, owner of the store, small business owner, CEO, etc. We can actually just choose that right there. Guess how much I'm spending doing this right now? 0. I haven't even run the freaking ad yet. I'm just looking to see if my perfect audience is out there. Look at this. So we've got 140,000 people right here. 140,000 people that meet that criteria right there. That's pretty good. That's with net worth. So we got 140,000 married men that meet these criteria, owner, owner-operator, or whatever, that have this net worth, right? That's a pretty good group of people. But we didn't do income. Remember, there's two sets of financial data. Net worth is how much you got, how much you've managed to keep after taxes, which are notoriously low and apparently not optional. But income is how much you make, right? So let's do it by income too. So we can also say, let me see people who make over 125 grand a year. So we got from 100 all the way up, right? So all the way up to 500 to over 500,000. So anywhere between 75,000 to over 500,000. That potential reach is 110,000 people. We add those together, we got CEOs and business owners, married U.S. men, age 44 to 60, with a net worth of over 200 grand. There's 140,000 of them. We also have the same type of person, married U.S. fellow, CEO and business owner, between 44 and 60, who makes a high income, 110,000 of them. Total, just on Facebook, from this one little search, I haven't even spent a dime yet, our total reach, the total people we can show ads to, 250,000. 250,000 people. Okay, now come back to me for a second. A minute ago, I asked you, all right, what's your sales goal, right? Whatever your sales goal is perfect, okay? Don't let anyone tell you what it should be. Whatever you want it to be is what it should be. All right, and you wrote that down. And you're like, I got a hunch. I think I can sell this type of product for this much money. That means I need this many customers, right? Do you think that many customers might exist in your pool of 250,000 of them? This is assuming, of course, that's who you're trying to sell to, right? It's like, duh, this is just Facebook. We can get a Facebook ad up today, right? Remember the campaign I showed you that's already working? I created that on the 19th at 11 o'clock at night. Right? I don't even know what I'm doing. I did it personally. Okay? You can get right in front of these people right now. We've never had this kind of opportunity before, ever. Okay? But the question now goes, well, what if we're not selling them with money stuff? Because you internet marketing guys, you always talk about selling money stuff. What if I sell like niche information products? Okay? Like, what if I sell something on parenting? Great. Even better. So let's say our target is a new mom with money. Right? Are new moms irrationally passionate about that baby? Yeah. Okay, I got 4 kids. And I would never say irrational. I would say enthusiastically passionate about that baby. I would never say irrationally passionate. No. Delete that from the tape. Enthusiastically and wonderfully passionate about the baby is what they are. As he hides under the desk, right? But no, really, new moms are just like, that's all they think about, the baby, right? So that's thing number 1. Are they great in number? We're about to see. Are they easily reached? We're about to see. Check it out. So here we are. Same thing on the Facebooks, right? So, and now I'm just going to say, okay, I want ages 20 to 45, and I want to target women, because it's kind of hard for a dude to be a new mom these days, although that line's getting a little blurred, and that's okay. All right, so we got that, okay? And then we say, well, we want them to be parents, and look, we're clicking a button. We go click. The More Demographics button. From here we go click, we select parents, and from here we go click, we select moms. And you're like, dude, Look at that. We just found a whole bunch of moms we can sell stuff to. But hey, I got a mom, but she's not a new mom, right? She's been a mom for 22 years. Twice. I'm 45, right? I'm trying to pretend like I'm a lot younger. Okay, so we got to like make sure that they're new moms, and we want, new moms with like little babies and stuff. So how do we do that? Well, check it out. Blam. From here, we select new mom, like right under moms. As soon as you select moms, you get all this different criteria for moms. So I know our target with new moms with baby, but let's say you want to help high school kids get better grades, right? Like you're really good at making your kids do their homework and not be peckerheads. Blam, you can select moms of high school kids, right? Or let's say your specialization is in helping kids get into college. Boom. Who's really, really concerned about their kid getting in college? Moms of high school kids, probably more than the high school kids themselves, right? It's the moms. Okay? What if you're, wanting to help stay-at-home moms start or maintain a business? Look at that. Blam. Stay-at-home moms. Okay, so there's all kinds of stuff. We're going to select new moms to kind of go with the theme of what we're talking about. So we got age 20 to 45, just randomly choosing a age group there. Women, obviously, new moms. Okay, great. But we got to have new moms with money, right? So if they don't have any money, it's going to be really hard for them to buy your stuff. Well, we can do that now. So here I did the same thing. I targeted their income range. Everybody over $75,000 a year, all the way up to over $500,000. You probably can't see that number on the screen. 920,000 perfect prospects just in that one Facebook audience that it took me longer to show you than it did to actually do it. Like I could have done it in about half the time when I'm trying to walk you through it, But like right now, today, you could be doing that. You could be like hunting for those audiences and stuff. Man, we've never been able to do this before until we had this kind of data. And now you might be thinking, well, dude, how does Facebook know all this stuff? How do they know how much money you got? Well, a couple of years ago, Facebook did, I don't know what you call it, we'll say like a data partnership with the biggest credit reporting bureaus in the world. So like all the stuff that's on, we'll say Equifax, I don't know if that's actually accurate, but like companies like Equifax, and you can research it if you want to, but they know everything about you because those companies share that data with Facebook, and Facebook builds all these profiles and stuff. They know more about you than probably your friends do. So it's crazy. And while that can be a little freaky to us, you're like, man, it's great if you're an advertiser. Because if I want to find someone who's, a guy over 50 who really likes Maltese puppies and who's got a whole bunch of money and lives in Nebraska and that's my perfect customer, bing, I can find that dude and show him ads and I can have him found and I can have my ad accounts going in like 2 hours, max, right? Same day. Never been able to do that before, ever. We can do it right now, okay? So right now, we've got more access to customers than ever before. That's my opinion, right? Like we can. Anybody, it doesn't matter. We can take somebody who's never done anything in the world and they can start advertising immediately to the perfect people. A couple years ago, you had to just hope, you had to do Google AdWords, hope they didn't shut you down for actually trying to sell something. Remember when they used to be a hard time? Not like that anymore, right? It's a wide open field of opportunity. Hey, Tyler, we're going to need to do that thingy in like 10 minutes or so, okay? So the other thing is that the technical playing field has been leveled, right? And this is awesome. So the technical playing field has been leveled. Here's what it means. So earlier I was like, there's really not that many pages. Well, there's only 4 types of web pages that we really need to sell info products right now, including running a book funnel completely, okay? You got an opt-in page, right? That's number 1. If you're collecting opt-ins, you might not even have to have that if you're using a book funnel. You need a sales page, right? I showed you earlier how to make one of those in terms of writing an awesome sales letter. We use that assembly line model, okay? Or a sales video. In a little bit, I'm going to show you the framework for the $1 billion sales video framework. We need an order page, right? Okay, that's 3 of them. There we go. And then we need like a content page. Content page can be the page that says, thanks for buying the thing. Here's how you download it, right? That's it. Or if we're doing a webinar, it's the page that has the webinar. Or if we're giving people a video, it's the page that has the video. But that's the entire thing. Those are the only 4 pages you got to have. The end. Nothing else out there for you to really get, right? All of these pages will run a book funnel. All of these pages will really run any other type of information product sell. That's all you got to have. So that's really sweet. So the primary tools, remember earlier I said there's really only 3 you need. It used to be 1 billion. Now there's 3. Number 1, you got to have something to build these web pages, right? Never been easier ever to build web pages. I wish I owned all of these tools in terms of equity in the companies. I don't, but I do use them. For a web page builder, doesn't get any easier than Optimized Press or ClickFunnels, I use ClickFunnels these days. Love it. Super easy. Very jealous of Brunson's success with that. You can tell him I said so. I do regularly. Awesome tool. It makes it where dumb guys from Georgia can build really cool looking web pages. Hey, if you're on my website watching this right now, go to BookFunnel Blueprint to get there. Guess what that page is on? I don't know, ClickFunnels. Guess who built it? Me. Guess who's really dumb when it comes to tech stuff? Me. Still built it anyway, using ClickFunnels, right? So that tech problem's gone, okay? That's great. We also need an automation system. Automation system's a fancy way of like sending them the emails, right? So if they buy something, if they buy your book, it'll send them an email to say, hey, you can buy this other thing from me or whatever. I like to use Infusionsoft. Another one is Drip, right? It really doesn't matter. Pick one. They all work pretty good, okay? And then if you have videos, right, this is kind of like the fourth tool that's kind of optional. If you're using videos, you got to have a way to put the videos online. There's YouTube, right? So if you're watching this broadcasted live right now, we're using YouTube's broadcasting to do it. If you're watching on Facebook, we're using Facebook. That's a tool. It costs us $0. If you actually host your own videos, you can use something like Wistia or whatever. That's what? Those are kind of the big ones, right? If you want to get super fancy, you can have like automated webinar systems like, EverWebinar or whatever. And if you want to get really fancy with Infusionsoft, you can use things like Plus This, but that's like ridiculously fancy, right? For some advanced automation type of stuff. That's all you got, right? So really, web page builder is something that sends email and a place to stick your videos. Place to stick your videos is typically free, okay? Not too bad anymore. Didn't used to be this simple, all right? So here's what we have right now, and this is amazing. Right? So we have three big things that are coming together in the convergence of awesomeness. Here it is. Number one, we have an industry called the information business, right, that has massive growth. I mean, I showed you. Okay, there's no denying this. E-learning, $100+ billion. Niche info products doubling every 3 years, probably better. Personal coaching, just life coaching by itself, second fastest growing industry in the world, according to the sources that I showed you earlier. Unbelievable growth, right? That in and of itself is enough to be like, yeah, buddy. But we also have the second thing, which is now we have this ability to get a sales message, like I showed you how to create earlier, in front of unbelievably targeted customers, like now, today, right? I just walked you through how to do it. You can like find your people, and next thing you do is you write ad, hit publish, go, blam. You got your ad in front of them, like now, immediately. We've never been able to do that. Not until we had these platforms available. We've never had that kind of data available to regular folks, right? You'd have to have some huge company and pay millions of dollars to be able to target just these people, or you'd have to buy a list and do all this kind of reverse appending and stuff that's so complicated I don't even want to think about it. Now you go to Facebook and go, I want a new mom in America with money who likes Tony Robbins. And then blam, there you go, right? And now you're showing it to that person. That's insane. And finally, this big barrier of technical ick is gone because the tech stuff has just been simplified beyond belief, right? I mean, we got ClickFunnels. It's so easy, okay? It's not mine. They're not paying me to tell you this. Give me money instead. But really, you need a damn web builder. So they're a good one, or Optimized Press, or Lead Pages, or Kajabi, or whatever. It doesn't matter, right? It's all, we don't have to figure out how to build stuff anymore. It's drag and drop. It's brain dead simple, which is amazing. So when we have all three of these, what it really spells out for us is incredible opportunity, right? Like literally nothing we have ever seen before. Not only do I think we've never seen it, I don't think it's ever been seen in generations in history. I honestly don't think within history of generations of people on this planet ever have had this much opportunity than we have right now. So let's talk about you, okay? So are you going to seize this opportunity, or will you let it pass you by? If you want to seize it, and if you've enjoyed this and you see this potential, then you're really going to love a new program that I have for you. It's called Info Business Blueprint. If you want to find passionate customers with money, and you want to create valuable information products that truly make them happy, and you want to create a system that systematically and predictably sells your products for you, the same ones that you just created, then this is for you. I made it specifically to help you find prospects that are most likely to buy your stuff, to help you build a responsive list of just those people, and to quickly create very valuable products and programs that actually help those people, right? Using the frameworks I'm going to give you. And if you want to deploy automated marketing systems to sell those products predictably and consistently, then this training is specifically for you. Here's how we're going to do it. The product is called, and the training is called, Info Business Blueprint. And this is a 4-week modulated class. And here's what we do. In the first week, I show you something called the crystal ball method. And in the crystal ball method, what really you're learning is whether or not people are predisposed to buy your stuff. Look, why would you ever create a product if you didn't have really concrete evidence that there was demand for that product and that people wanted to buy it? Well, with the crystal ball method, you can not only see if there's demand, you can see what people are buying, how much they're paying it for, where they're buying it from, where those competitors are actually getting their traffic. You can have your entire market reverse engineered down to a science before you ever make anything. Now, why would you want to do that? Again, don't you want the highest probability of success before you start the race? Like, if you have a choice, you could do this big race, you don't know whether you're going to win or not, or you could do this big race and you got a pretty good idea you're going to win because you know exactly where the winning path is. That's what crystal ball method is. You're going to know what people want to buy. You're going to know what type of product they're buying. You're going to know what they're paying for it. You're going to know who your biggest competitors are. You're going to know how your competitors are making sales. You're going to know where your competitors are getting traffic. You're even going to know what your competitors' ads look like. Don't you think that's a pretty good advantage to have before you ever start creating products? Absolutely. Then, once you have that, now that you know where you want to go and you got really good validation that's a good idea, now we talk about how do you actually create these products, right? How do you get these liquidators created? Well, we know how to do the book, but how do you do the products for the one-click upsells as bread and butters? How do you create a modulated course if that's what you want to do, right? Well, in Module 2, I show you there's a framework, there's a process for it. I show you something really cool called content compounding, so you're not constantly having to reinvent the wheel. So you can really get these products made quickly, but without sacrificing any quality of the product. I really can't stress that enough. It's going to be great, but you make it fast, right? So win-win. Module 3 is very, very important. It's all about passive selling systems. Earlier today, I showed you while we've been talking, my ad's running, people are buying stuff, here's the money that's come in. What is that called? That's called a passive selling system. I'm not like doing anything. I got an ad. I could have been asleep this whole time, right? People would still be buying stuff. That's what I mean by a passive selling system. How do you create those? In Module 3, I show you how to do it. And in Module 4, I show you the instant audience technique. So I kind of showed you how to find who to sell to using Facebook. In Module 4, we go really deep. Now, clearly, I know how to make Facebook work. I just showed you a brand new campaign that I just launched. It's already working, right? Would you rather get a bunch of theory, or would you rather me show you exactly what's working right now for me? That's what we do in Module 4. So the net effect of this is you could be selling your products. You got them done, you got them created, you got your entire sales system done. In fact, if you were to buy this right now, it's currently for sale. If you go to frankkern.com and you click on the products tab, you'll see it for sale for $2,997. And it's worth every penny of that. And let me ask you a question. It's not $297 or $29.97 today, by the way, but what if it just helped you create one simple little bread and butter product that you could sell for $197 or $297 or $397 or whatever? Okay, I'm not trying to tell you what to sell your stuff for, but what if it helped you do that? And what if you just sold one of those per week, right? Would it be worth $29.97 if you just got that one thing done? If we're sitting here a year from today and you're looking back and you're like, man, I created a product and I'm able to sell one per week for $297. Would it have been worth the investment? I would say, yeah. Heck yeah, it would be. But this is way more than just creating products because, dude, creating the product is really nothing. It's selling the product. It's where the money is, right? And that's what I really want to give you in this passive selling systems portion of the class. So I kind of want to show you how this works a little bit. So you got really two main things you do when we sell things online. Number one, we build a list. Number two, we sell them stuff. I mean, that's really it, right? I know it's oversimplified, but in a nutshell, that's what we do. With a book funnel, you build a list of buyers and then you sell them more stuff. With your traditional internet marketing funnels, which are less effective, you build an email list, then you try to sell them something, then you try to sell them something else. Either way, you build a list and you sell them stuff. Well, what people don't really teach is there's actually lots of systems for doing that. The first one is called linear, right? And this is what almost everybody does. It's very, very effective. This means someone joins your list and then there is pretty much a straight line campaign to get them to go buy the next thing. Right? So if you opt in for something, kind of like a product launch, it's a linear campaign. You opt in to get the video, there's a series of videos, and then boom, you're in the sales campaign. That's a linear campaign. It has a clear starting point, a clear finishing line. The next one is called a cycling system. I use this a lot. I'm going to teach you this a lot. I'm going to teach you all of these, but a cycling system is really cool. A cycling system means you have multiple selling systems, right? So you have one thing that might be a product launch. You have another one that might be a webinar. You have another one that might be a deadline-based campaign. They all can sell the exact same product, but you cycle them, meaning if someone comes in, they don't respond to the automated launch, you put them in an automated webinar. If they still don't buy, you put them in a deadline campaign, etc. That's called cycling. Very few people do that. This is the great multiplier of automated passive selling systems. The next one is called ascending. That's really what a book funnel does, right? You buy a book, it's inexpensive, you go through some one-click upsells, you're ascending, you're buying more stuff, and then you go through a Slack adjuster campaign or even the main thing campaign, which is ultimately more expensive, right? That's called an ascending campaign. And then there's the opposite. It's called a descending campaign. A descending campaign is you come in, you're offered something very, very expensive, and if you choose not to take that, then over time you're offered less expensive things. Guess what? As complex as all of that sounds, you know what they all have? Just 4 web pages. Here they are. You got an opt-in page, your content page that's going to have your videos on it, or your thank you page or whatever. You got your sales page. You got an order page. That's it. And so I'm going to do more for you than just teach you how all of these selling systems work. I'm also going to give you pre-built templates for every single page. Now, I can't tell you what to say on your pages because I don't know what you're selling. But I can give you the formulas. I can give you the templates for the layouts that work best for me. So you see my book sales letter. All my books follow that same sales letter. If you go and look at other people's books, a lot of them follow that same sales letter, right? There's a template. I'm going to give you the template. I'm going to give you the template for opt-in pages. I'm going to give you the template for order pages. I'm going to give you the template for value video pages because, look, copy is important, but so is how the page looks. Design is equally important, right? You got to have it designed. So rather than start from scratch, I want to give you the template so you can just go ahead and get that done faster, right? Let's remove that barrier for you, okay? So that means I'm going to give you a VSL template as well with slides, all right? You're going to get a sales letter template, the actual page, the template for the page. What should it look like? Look, you can have the greatest sales letter in the world, but the page is screwed up looking. It's not going to work, right? So I'm going to give you the template for that. Webinar templates, content pitch templates. Look, let me ask you a question. If you just were able, if all you did in this class, if you just created a dependable campaign that consistently made like a few sales a week, nothing major, right? So let's just say, you got an inexpensive product, you're selling something for $100, and it's consistently bringing in a couple of $100 sales per week. Would it be worth $29.97? Well, mathematically speaking, yes. There's 52 weeks in a year. A couple sales of $100 is $200 a week times 52 is pretty good. Statistically speaking, it is more than $29.97. So of course it would be worth it if you just did that, right? But we're going to do so much more than that because it's more than just sales systems. Because look, you have the greatest sales system in the world, but if you don't know where to get traffic and how to actually bring buyers into the sales system, then you really have like an engine with no gasoline. So I'm going to also help you get the gasoline as well. So here's the deal, right? There's so much stuff about traffic out there, and most of it's complete garbage. Not because you're not going to get traffic, because you get the wrong kind of traffic. Look, only reason you ever want to get traffic is to turn a profit, period. Right? You can't go to the bank and say, hey, I'm going to deposit 1,000 visitors today. I'm going to deposit my 1 million Facebook fans in the bank. And the bank's going to be like, you're out of your mind. The whole purpose of driving traffic is to turn a profit. The only people you should target are the ones who are most likely to buy. The most consistent source of traffic and customers is from advertising. So when I tell you buyer traffic, I'm going to show you how to do what I just did, right? Earlier, before we started, I showed you, look, here's what I spent today. Here's what we've brought in. It doesn't do that every day. I can't believe that worked 2 days in a row. But as you saw, it kind of evened out yesterday. We made a little bit of money yesterday. We didn't make a ton, right? Because we make most of it later on with the automated passive selling systems I'm going to teach you how to use. And this morning, we put $1 in. We got $2 out consistently today. That could go up. It could go down. But you know what we do? Damn near every single day, we get more out than we put in every day. And then we continue to get more out because I deploy the same passive selling systems I'm going to show you. So you can learn this stuff in theory, right? Or you could have me personally show you how to do it. I would rather you let me personally show you how to do it because as I just demonstrated, I'm doing it for real with these very product types every single day, right? So that's what I'm going to show you, right? So the key, what we like to do is we start small, by the way. So you didn't see us spending a tremendous amount of money today, but usually I like to start small and look and see if it worked. And then we measure and tweak. right? So on the left, you see an ad spend, kind of like what I showed you today. And on the right, you see the total sales from that. And so the campaign that I showed you earlier, that's a new campaign. And I'm testing a ton of ads. I'm testing kind of a new technique. It's working pretty good. I'll share it with you. So you see, I spent $197 in this one example, and I got 388 back. I had 36 new contacts, nothing earth-shattering. But what you do is you watch that campaign, you scale and monitor it, and then over time, you're able to increase your budget. So here's a 30-day snapshot where I spent $31,000. And like I said, I don't want you to go and start spending $31,000. You only continue investing if you're getting a profit back, right? So that's 30-day ad spend. And from that 30-day ad spend, I got $109,000 back, which is pretty good. Look, I didn't just get it because of some miracle. I got it because I deployed all of these intricate sales systems I'm going to show you during this class, right? So that's the sales and revenue from those ads during that time. Let me ask you a question. If you were able to drive complete strangers to your website and sell them your products consistently, would the ability to do that, just that one thing alone, would that be worth $29.97? Of course it would, because if you can do that, you're creating profit from advertising. And that's the most valuable skill you could possibly have, period. So of course it would be worth $29.97. So the goal of this class isn't just to show you how to create info products. It's to help you build a highly automated system that produces consistent sales as passively as possible. Now, obviously we have to do stuff, right? Like I do stuff every day. I don't just sit around and money flows in from the ceiling, but I don't have to do all this hard manual labor. So it's pretty sweet. It's as passively as it can get. So you're probably wondering about the cost, right? Because I've kind of hinted around this $29.97 thing. Well, if you want to, you can, and I would actually prefer this. You can go to my website, buy it for $2,997. But today, you can save $1,000 and you can get it for $19.97. But I'm like, man, you guys have been here. This is our second day. This is so cool. We had 9,000 something people yesterday. Everyone's being so freaking nice to me. This is awesome. I think what I would prefer to do is instead, I was going to knock it off another grand. You could have it for only $9.97. And I was like, you know what? Let's make it unbelievably cool. How about I just give it to you? How about I do that? Is that cool? Can I give it to you? Can you just have it for free? Is that okay with y'all? I think that'd be all right. You're probably wondering, what's the catch? Why would I give it to you for free, right? Well, I'll tell you why. It's a blatant bribe is what it is. The reason I'm going to give this to you for free is because I want you to join something I've been talking about and you've seen other people talking about during this entire time. It's called the Kern Inner Circle, right? What the Kern Inner Circle gives you is so much. First of all, every other Wednesday, you get live video conferences. And if you like this, right now, we got thousands of people on this right now. If you're getting value from this, imagine it's you, me, and not thousands of people. And I'm able to bring you on camera, right? So during these video conferences, every other Wednesday, live with me personally, I can review your website for you. I can help you with your offer. I can help you tweak your copy. I can help you improve your sales process. Anything you need to do, we can do this together. We do it right here in this studio. I'm able to bring you on the camera. We do it live every other Wednesday. Now, there's way more than just that one thing. But doing that one thing, what do you think? Having that level of focus and personal interaction, would you rather have a course that's going to wear off, or would you rather have that constant focus? Obviously, right? Ongoing help is going to give you way more benefit than just a bunch of videos and stuff. Yeah, videos and stuff are good, but what if you have questions, which of course you are? What if something changes, which of course it will? That's why we stay in touch every other Wednesday. Boom, live video conferences. We do that every other week, but you're going to get way more than that. You know what? I know that using all of these tools like this can be sometimes overwhelming. That the tech stuff can be a little bit of a challenge sometimes. Or sometimes you might have questions. You might wonder like, well, dude, how did you tie your order form to this thing? Or how did you automate this or that? Or what's the best way to get this video hosted or whatever? Every week, every single Tuesday, we have implementation workshops. What that means is, if you need help with your funnels, this is live, by the way, every single Tuesday. If you need help building a funnel or whatever, building a web page, you name it, you can get on this implementation workshop every single Tuesday and we'll help you do it, right? Where else are you going to get that? So if you ever feel overwhelmed by tech or confused or something, look, we've all been there. That's why I have this for you every single Tuesday. So you need help with funnels. You need help building web pages. You need help building webinars, whether they're automated or setting up a live one or whatever. If you need help with automation, we do that for you every single Tuesday live. On top of that, every Friday, we give you Facebook ads and workshops, and this is also live every single Friday, regardless, without fail, right? And so here's what we help you do. If you want to launch a new campaign, we help you do it. If you need to review an existing campaign to figure out how to make it work better, we help you do it. If you have a question of, man, how do you target these types of people? Or where do I find these people? Or here's what I'm selling, who should I target, right? We help you do that, and we help you do it live. If you have a problem with your ad copy, if you're like, man, I'm getting, people see the ad, but they're just not clicking or whatever, what do we help you do that? We help you do that as well. We help you do it live every single Friday. If you want to make video ads work really, really well for me, we help you do that as well, live every single Friday. On top of that, that's just the tip of the iceberg. On top of that, every single month, I also send you a package with secret documents and secret hard drives, and included in that package is something called Get Money Now. And what Get Money Now is a fully deployable marketing campaign in a box delivered physically to you every single day. You get the blueprints, you get process maps, literally walking you through how to implement the entire campaign. And guys, if we've got any members in the audience and you guys are enjoying it and there's people in the comments with questions, you help them out for me. You help us get some more good folks in our little community because we have a pretty good thing going. But with this Get Money Now thing, literally, I'm showing you exactly what to do. Like, hey, here's what we tested, here's what worked, here's how to do it. And on top of that, I send you literally a hard drive with videos of me personally walking you through exactly how to do this. I'm giving you the templates for the swipe files, the copy, everything. Email, sales letters, videos, you get it all. I deliver this to you in the mail every single month. And on top of that, I also give you a newsletter. And the newsletter reveals the results of the massive tests that I'm running every single month, showing you exactly what's working, how I'm creating extra revenue, where the new traffic sources are, and so much more. It's like an up-to-the-minute field report sent from the front lines of the cutting edge of internet marketing. Look, you're going to look over my shoulder as I test new offers, create new campaigns, write new ads and sales letters, and essentially grow money. It's like getting a call from me personally every single month, giving you a behind-the-scenes rundown of everything that's making the most money right now, and then just showing you how to model that in your business fast. And to really make this useful to you, I'm also giving you a hard drive every month with videos of me personally going over the examples I'm giving you in the newsletter. And the only way to have access to this type of information would be if you worked in my office, shoulder to shoulder with me every single day. So you're probably wondering, good Lord, dude, that's a lot. That's 10 live workshops a month total, right? I'm sending you a newsletter in the mail every month. I'm giving you these hard drives of me personally doing it for you. I'm giving you a freaking marketing campaign every month. What's the cost? Well, as a member, you get everything. You get the live video conferences with me every other Wednesday. You get the live weekly trainings, Tech Tuesdays, Facebook Fridays. You get the Get Money Now marketing campaign in a box. You get the look over my shoulder newsletter, and the hard drives with the confidential videos where I personally help you implement everything for just $3.97 a month. And if you want to join that, which you should, you need to right now, either click the button, which may or may not have actually appeared on my webpage, who knows, or just go to joinfrankkern.com. Now, giving you the Info Business Blueprint as a bribe to get you to join this ridiculously inexpensive program with me personally is obviously a very, very limited offer. So if you want this and you want me to personally help you stay focused and get results in your business every month, go to joinfrankkern.com right now and get enrolled. And when you do, you're going to get instant access to Info Business Blueprint, and you're going to get instant access to our community, and you're going to get all of your member benefits starting right this very minute. Look, there's no contract. You can cancel any time. I believe in demonstrating value. I don't want to rope you into anything, but if you just try it, I know you're going to love it. We have over a 92% retention rate every month for this thing. That's literally true. This month, right now, we've kept 92% of our members. You know what the all-knowing they say about membership sites is? That the average person stays 3 months, not us. We crushed that. And it's like, look, I don't want to convince you of it. Just try it, right? That's the offer I always make. Hey, just try it out. If you like it, stay a member. 92% of all of our members continue saying, guys, if you're here, if any of our inner circle members are here and you have some nice things to say, let people know in the chat. If there's any questions that you guys have and you're some members and there's some members that see those questions, do me a favor, answer those folks for me and welcome them into the fold. Or if you know right now, you're like, man, Frank's giving me so much value with this and there's still so much more to come. Hell yeah, I want to have this regular interaction with him and all the other like-minded people. Go to joinfrankkern.com right now and become a member. Look, like I told you, you're not stuck in this membership. If you don't like it, you don't have to stay a member. Just go to frankkernhelpdesk.com or write us, support@frankkernhelpdesk.com. We'll cancel your membership. No problem. There's no hoops to jump through. You can keep Info Business Blueprint for free anyway, right? That's my gift to you just for trying it out. That's a $2,997 training. I'm just giving to you. Just, hey, this is yours just for trying out this thing that I know without question is going to help you. How do I know? Because it helps so many other people. Otherwise, they wouldn't stick. There's no contract. You can leave whenever you want to, right? 92% renewal rate every month. Boom, 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 like that. No special tricks to it or anything. They stay because it works, right? So I'm giving you $2,997 worth of trainings. That's yours free just for becoming a member right now today. So let's talk about those dues, okay? $397 a month. I know it's not much, right? Just $397, not prohibitively expensive, right? So, I mean, if you spend $397 this month, you know you're going to make $397 somehow again. Money always replenishes itself. This isn't going to change your lifestyle, but it is deliberately enough to keep the knuckleheads at bay. And you're going to appreciate that because every member has access to our private members-only Facebook community, and never mentioned this to you, we also have members-only meetings. As a matter of fact, we have one coming up on the 15th and 16th of September. These are private, only for our members. And by having a membership fee, which is still is not a lot, but it's enough to keep weirdos away, you're going to make sure that you're surrounded with really cool people who actually do stuff. We were on a call the other day with a member and a longtime member, Karma, who might actually be here today. He had written, you know what, I've never seen a community of more people who actually do stuff, and that's what our community does. So as much as I'd like to say, hey, the membership's all about me, it's great, it's just as much about your fellow members. When you're in that members area, or when you come to our members-only events, we do them a couple times a year just for members, and you meet these fellow members, it's incredible. It's like you're plugging into this network of like-minded people who genuinely want to help you. We all do. It's really, really, really good. So for the right person, though, I think the cost is really negligent because membership should pay you. I mean, think about this. Would it be worth a whopping $397 to have me create a marketing campaign for your business this month? Like, I just sat down, mapped it out, gave you the swipe file, mailed it to you. I mean, come on. Of course it would be, right? Don't you think that if I wrote a campaign for you and I was like, okay, are you ready? $397, you're like, seriously? I can't believe it was only $397, but whatever, okay, here you go, and you pay me and hauled ass out of there before I changed my mind. Do you think if you deployed that campaign that you would get more than $397 back? Well, yeah, of course. If you have a business and you're actually selling stuff, I mean, that's a no-brainer, right? Usually, when I sell campaigns and things, it's $15,000. But $397, I send you one every single month. If you're like most people, you tell me you'd probably pay for your membership several years over just from the proceeds from that one campaign. That's the idea. By the way, that's why I think we have such a high renewal rate. I don't think it's my good looks. You'd probably tell me that everything after that one campaign would be gravy. You'd be like, yeah, dude, that one campaign was plenty. I'm already set. Everything else is just kind of a bonus right now. And that's really how I try to engineer the whole experience. And that's why I send you this marketing campaign in a box every single month, by the way, because I want to give you that chance every single month just to create another asset in your business that keeps working for you. But I just want to make this a no-brainer for you. And I really take a lot of pride in helping members win big. And one of the easiest ways to do that is to go like, here, dude, just send this. You know what I mean? Like, here's the copy. Here's a framework for the video. Here's how I did it all. Just do this, you know? And so I want to make it as easy for you as possible. But here's another way to think about it. All right? Would it be worth $397 for you to come spend an entire month looking over my shoulder? I mean, imagine we're at a seminar, right? Imagine that we're like at some big seminar and they've invited me to speak on stage and I have to make a pitch. I hate making pitches from seminars, by the way, but let's just say like most of them you have to pitch if they let you on stage. So they're like, okay, you got to pitch something. I'm like, fine. So I'm on the stage. And I've just given the presentation. I've just shown you all this cool stuff like I've been showing you for the past 2 days. I'm like, you know what, guys? I have this offer. It's definitely not for every single person, but here's what I'm going to let you do. I'm going to let 7 people, let's say it's a crowd of 300 or 400 people or whatever. I'm going to let 7 people, I'm going to let you come to my office every single day. You're going to look over my shoulder every day of everything I'm doing, and I'm going to explain to you why I'm doing this. I'm going to show you how everything works. I'm going to show you all the tests, and I'm going to show you how to implement it. So at the end of the day, everything that worked, we're going to sit down together, and I'm going to be like, okay, press that button there. No, you're going to want to change your headline to that. No, send that email 3 days out instead of 4. And we're going to do that every single day for a month. And there's only 7 people I can do it for, and it's $10,000. Do you think it would sell out? Of course it would sell out, right? It's a no-brainer. I mean, this is a multi-million-dollar operation, and the 10 grand is nothing. For a whole month of shoulder to shoulder working, of course, right? Well, look, here's the deal. That newsletter is having me walk you through every email and every sales letter and every test and personally showing you what works and all of that. Newsletter and the hard drives I send you every month, those are meant to give you that exact same experience, but it's not 10 grand, right? It just comes with your membership anyway. Here's something else to consider. Would it be worth $397 to jump online with me twice a month personally to have me review your marketing? I've done it before for private clients, $9,700 every single month, right? I can do it for you for $397. The reason I'm able to charge that little is because we do it in group format, right? We get on the camera just like this. You jump on, you say, hey, I got this question. I answer you, blam, ready to go. No problem. We do it every other Wednesday. It's awesome, super fun, right? Would it be worth $397 to have me tweak your headline to make it work better? What would that extra increase in your response be worth to you? Probably a lot more than $397, all right? That's what we do in those live video conferences. Plus, you get to see your fellow members and get ideas for what's working for them as well. If this sounds good to you, it's a no-brainer. Go to joinfrankkern.com right now. Would it be worth $397 to have a world-class Facebook ad agency CEO show you how to get customers from Facebook ads? I show you what's working for me, but you know where I learn it? From the company that manages my ads, right? So that little experiment that I showed you that I created personally, I did that kind of on the side. I have an agency that runs most of my Facebook ads. They spend $3 million a month on Facebook ads. Not me personally, they manage mine, but their cumulative group of clients is $3 million a month. Every Friday, they lead our Facebook Live workshops. Don't you think that they've seen just about every Facebook challenge you could possibly imagine? Don't you think that if people trust them with $3 million of monthly ad spend, that they know what they're doing? I certainly trust them with mine. They've helped me grow my business tremendously, and they can help you grow yours. Now, you've probably seen Facebook programs before. What's the minimum investment? You can probably recite it to me, right? It's $10,000 to get started, and then we're going to charge you so much a month to manage your ads, plus a percentage of ad spend. And you know what? It's a pretty good deal if you get with a good agency. You could do that if you wanted, or you could just let us give it to you every single Friday for nothing as part of your membership benefits, right? Every Friday. They spend $3 million a month in Facebook ads. Pretty sure they can help you, right? They're awesome. So that's what we do on Facebook Friday. So it's pretty good. So if any of those scenarios, any of those things sound like maybe it's valuable to you, then this is clearly a no-brainer because, hey, if you don't like it, you just don't have to stay a member. You can still keep the information business blueprint training totally free. Go to Join Frank Kern right now. Accept that bribe to become a member today. Look, there's no contract. You can cancel anytime. You can go to frankkernhelpdesk.com. You can write us, support at frankkernhelpdesk.com. Tyler's here in the office right now. He's the dude. And you know what his response will be? If you say, hey, I want to cancel my membership, here's his response. Okay, we have canceled your membership. That's it. We don't call you and mess with you or any of that crap. We still have 92% retention rate. We don't worry about it, right? If you're not happy, then this is cool. We're not for everybody, but I think if you try it, you're going to love it. I think if you try it, you're going to get the results that you want, and that's why you're going to stay a member. People don't stay for my good looks, right? They stay because we help them get results. So try it right now. Go to joinfrankkern.com right now and get enrolled. If you leave, no problem. You can still keep Info Business Blueprint for free. But you know, there's something interesting I want to share with you about the quote-unquote cost of membership. All right, so if we were to do the math, then the membership is really $13.05 per day. Okay, $13.05. I mean, let me ask you something, all right? If you woke up tomorrow and like one of your children had spent $13.05 on lunch, would you even know? Like, would you notice that from your bottom line? Would that have any effect on your life at all? No, of course, you probably wouldn't even know. And if they did, would you be like, oh my God, where are we going to get the $13.05 back? You wouldn't worry about it. You know, you have a business, you have a job, whatever. You get money every day, every week, whatever. It's not a big deal. $13.05 is nothing. But to illustrate that, because I'm weird, I did a little search on Google. And I Googled, what can you buy for $13.05? And what I found was pretty hilarious. The most compelling thing I found was that you can buy 1,305 Tootsie Rolls at a school cafeteria. I really did find that. It was on Yahoo Answers. I have no idea why someone actually posed that question on Yahoo Answers, but I found it on Yahoo Answers. So which would you rather have? 1,305 Tootsie Rolls and the unbelievably unpleasant dental bill that follows that, or a ready-to-go marketing campaign created by me personally? Which one is going to bring more value to your life? $13.05 makes no difference to your life at all. The help I can give you could potentially give you the freedom, the comfort, the confidence, the capabilities that you've been looking for. Go to joinfrankkern.com right now. Take advantage of this offer. It is, of course, very limited. Hey, look, let's face it. $13.05 is going to make absolutely no difference to your life whatsoever. It means nothing. All right, absolutely nothing. But the work we do together, that can change your business. I absolutely know with 100% certainty it can change your business. How do I know? The results speak for themselves. 92% of our people stay every single month. The industry average is you only keep someone for 3 months. We keep them whatever that math is, right? I don't even know. It's so long I can't even calculate it. Okay? We're 10 times more than your typical membership site. But we're 3 times longer in terms of people staying with us. Why? One reason. Our members get the results they want and they're very, very happy. Okay? I know with 100% certainty that the work you and I do together, it can have a dramatic effect on your business. It can take away any stress, any overwhelm. It can help you get the results that you're after, and that ultimately leads to more freedom for you, more comfort for you, more ability for you to provide for your family, more ability for you to give back to your community if that's what you want to do, which I do recommend that you do. We can do that together, and you can get started right now at joinfrankkern.com. Look, this is a very generous bribe. Get Info Business Blueprint for free when you become a member. It's great. If you don't want to stay a member, you can keep it anyway, right? But the benefits of this, man, you'll be a part of a group of people, your fellow members. There's such a group of high performers. They are so cool. They're all doing stuff. And they so freely share the valuable information that they learn not only from me, but from their own experience. And they share this all together. And the rest of the world just does not get to see this kind of stuff. You're going to get the latest cutting-edge marketing strategies and tactics before your competitors ever know what hit them. And you'll be able to take fresh, new campaigns that are created and tested by me personally and plug them into your business every single month. Plus, you'll get to connect with me and your fellow members every other week on our live video conferences. So it's awesome. So look, you get the help, the guidance, and the focus that you need. Won't you accept my offer and become a member today? You should. You're under no obligation to remain a member, and you can cancel at absolutely any time. And you can still keep that Info Business Blueprint for free. And speaking of gifts, by the way, there's one more thing I want to do for you. Last spring, I taught, I don't know why I said clandestine. I guess I never advertised it because it was only for my customers. And the class was all about turning strangers into customers. So I taught, like, here's how we're doing it right now, and here's how I know how to do it. And that's what we did. The only people who were allowed to come to this training had spent a minimum of $2,000 with me over a 60-day period. So I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm only going to do it for people who have spent $2,000 within the past 60 days. And it was a packed house, which was awesome. There were about 200 people there, and they flew from all over the world. We had people there from Japan, Europe, Brazil. It was awesome. Right? Germany was represented. It was really, really cool. Australia. So they came from all over the world, and we did it. And the name of the event was Alchemy. And interestingly, I spent around $50,000 to have this thing recorded and professionally edited because I was like, this is awesome. I mean, this is like product-worthy material here. And my intention was I'm going to turn this thing into a product, and I'm going to sell it. But I never sold it because I created my inner circle and I gave 100% focus to my inner circle. That's the only thing we've done since August. This is my entire business. This is my life, is the inner circle, right? I mean, obviously my family, but it's our whole business. Every single person in our business is 100% dedicated to serving our inner circle members. So I never released that training at all. I never released that event footage. So when you enroll right now as an additional bonus, I'm going to give you that footage of that event. It cost me $50,000 to film and professionally edit that thing to make it really, really product worthy. I'm going to give that to you absolutely free. The place to go is to go to joinfrankkern.com right now. It is a limited offer. It is going to go away. Listen, this is the easiest decision you could possibly make. If you've gotten value from this, what we've been doing together during all these sessions, this is absolutely nothing compared to what you're going to get as a member. They're probably members right now in chat telling you about their personal experiences. I hope they are, and I hope to see you in our private members group, and I hope to see you on our next live video conference. So, blam. Now, that ends that little segment. So now we're back to me talking to you from the behind-the-scenes angle. So, number one, those are your 5 different types of info products, right? That's it. They're only those 5 types of products, okay? Number 2, that's how you do a webinar. All right, so it was kind of weird for me to do it while simultaneously trying to teach you how to do it at the same time. Remember yesterday I showed you that one-page webinar framework? Every single thing that I just did was part of that one-page webinar framework, especially that offer section. I followed every single step of that 12-part offer process right there to the letter, right? So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope, A, that you join the inner circle. You should. It's amazing. You're going to love it, right? So many people love it. I mean, why do we have such a great stick rate? Okay, it's because it works. But number two, I hope you see that, okay, look, doing a webinar is really not that hard. Kern just did one. I showed you, 3 big things, right? Here are the 3 big industries. Here are the 5 product types. Here's how to find customers. Those are the 3 big things. Remember I showed you where your payoff segment was from yesterday? That's what it was, right? I could transcribe everything I just did in that webinar and turn it into a book called the Info Business Revolution or something and sell the book, right? No problem. So I hope you see how that's done. So here's the deal. Go to joinfrankkern.com right now. Enroll in the inner circle. I also, today, because we went long this morning, I have the $1 billion video sales letter framework coming up for you next, right? So I'm going to teach you now again. Now it's going to be the $1 billion video sales letter framework. So earlier I sent you an email. I was like, man, I was terrified. I had to present to these $100,000 mastermind people, and I already have freaking anxiety anyway, and I'm literally surrounded by them because they made me stand in the middle of the circle. Who the hell does that? And this is what I taught them. So that's coming up next. Hey, welcome back. So what I'd like to teach you right now is something that I call the $1 billion video sales letter framework. And the use of the word billion really seems kind of like a lot of hot air, but in reality, it is not. This framework is a collaboration between myself and a very dear friend of mine named Dean Graziosi. And Dean Graziosi has done 2 things incredibly well. Number 1 is sell on video, specifically through television infomercials. And number 2, sell books through those. And that's why this is so very relevant to what we're doing right now. So Dean and I work together on some very large products for a very large corporate client that does around $300 million in annual revenue. And as a result of our work with this client, we need to create a lot of sales collateral. And a lot of those sales collateral is videos that we don't personally film. We have to have other people film, and we're not in there. And we got together and we decided that we would take the best of his winning video ideas and mine, and we would marry them together in a repeatable framework, kind of like a step-by-step guideline. And that's what this is. So we literally created this to hand off to other copywriters so that they could create videos within this framework that we could approve or tweak or whatever, and then we could roll it out to the market. It's been awesome. It has really, really been a game changer for us in terms of being able to get offers out to marketplaces very, very quickly. So now I want to give you this exact same thing that we built specifically for use really with this one $300 million client. So here we go. This is the $1 billion framework. So a sales video, a story-based sales video, has 7 simple steps. So I'm going to show you each step. I'm going to walk you through each one. And if this works, I'm going to give you an example of some copy, like a screen cam style where it's just on PowerPoint, and then I'm going to show you Dean actually doing it from an online video where it's direct to camera. So let's see if this works. The first step is the open, so it's the open. The second is the intro. The third is the story. The fourth is what we call the bridge. The fifth is the pitch. The 6th is the bonuses, and the 7th is the risk reversal, which also includes a call to action and a deliberate pitch in there. So this is really, if you take any really good story-based video sales letter or even an infomercial, it kind of follows this framework, especially online. If it's online, it almost always follows this framework. So let's walk you through it. So let's talk about the open. The open is like the first second or 2, sometimes maybe 10 seconds of your video. And there's really 2 formulas that you can follow with the open. The first formula is called a cliffhanger story with the one thing promise. The cliffhanger story with the one thing promise. So I'll give you an example of it, right? What you want to do is you want to begin a story, but all you're doing is beginning it. You don't finish it. And during that beginning, you hint that the story will reveal the one thing that can help the viewer solve his problems. Now, come back to me for a second there, Sass. One thing is very important. So in these types of videos and these types of pitches, what we want to really do is isolate the single most valuable thing we can share in the video and present that as this is the one thing you can do to really get the best results to X, right? It's all about the one thing because consumers like simplicity, right? So if we can lead with the most impactful promise and the most impactful knowledge that we can give them, we're probably going to have the best results, right? So you'll notice I say one thing a lot, right? So I'm going to walk you through this in demonstration and hopefully teach you by demonstration. And I'm going to do a pitch for a product that doesn't exist, which will be, so don't try to buy it because it's not actually real. All right, so let's go with that, okay? So let's say that I've decided to create a product, and let's say this is just like a little bread and butter product or something. And the product is about how to play guitar really well, like how to play specifically blues guitar solos. Right? So if I was starting this video sales letter, here is how the script would look. So it would literally just be this on a screen. And here's what it would say. This is the cliffhanger story with one thing promise intro. I would say, while traveling through rural Mississippi in the summer of 2007, looking for a deeper understanding of how to play blues guitar, I met a shy but powerful 83-year-old guitar player who taught me the one thing that can make any guitar player crank out soul-melting blues solos on the spot, even if they're new to playing guitar. And in a moment, I'll share exactly what he taught me. But first, and that's the intro, okay? So what we've done here is, number one, I've gotten attention. I've drawn the listener. You know, I might say the reader just because I'm used to saying that, but this is a video, so the viewer. I've drawn the viewer in with a story. So nothing really conveys information like a story. Like stories are the most important things we can learn how to master in sales, and especially if we can tell a story that provides value. So I've gotten that viewer's attention with the story. And of course, the story should be true. I've also simultaneously implied that there is one thing that can get tremendous results for them. And in doing so, I've whetted the appetite and created curiosity by saying, hey, in a moment, I'll share you exactly what he taught me. And finally, by stopping that story and interrupting it, having that cliffhanger, I've created what's called an open loop. And an open loop will retain attention, right? So imagine we're in high school. So we go back to high school days, right? And me and you are hanging out, and you've got a crush on this girl, right? And she's like this super nice cheerleader girl, and you've always liked her and all this kind of stuff. And her name is Jenny, okay? And let's say I'm talking to you, and I'm like, dude, oh man, I got to tell you this. I overheard Jenny talking to Sarah about you, and Jenny said, hang on, I'll tell you in a minute, but first I got to do this. Now, what are you going to be thinking about? Right? Like I could go, first I have to circumnavigate the globe 57,000 times and invent time travel. I'd get done with that and you'd still be going, well, what'd she say, dude? It could be 10 years later. And you'd be like, you let me hanging this whole time. That's an open loop, right? That's what we're trying to do right there. So we're trying to create that open loop to really focus in that attention. So that's that entire opening right there, right? We just begin the story, follows those steps. Now, the next formula is a little different. This is the painful question plus the one thing promise. And there's a little interesting backstory to this. So Dean and I work together a lot, and we're very, very close friends. And we share a lot of marketing concepts together. And that's really lucky for me because he's brilliant. And he asked me to take a look at his infomercial script with Larry King. And I said, yeah, I like the script a lot. And it was really working well. And I was like, dude, what do you think would happen if we tried this? If we tried like asking the viewer a question that we knew the answer would be yes, but it was an uncomfortable question. And I sent him a voice memo. I scripted out in voice memo. I was like, try something like this. And I blah, 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 and I sent it to him in a text. And Dean's the type of guy that's like, he'll try everything, right? As long as it's above board, he's like, let's do it. So he scripts it out, splices it into the infomercial. Damn thing, he told me he got like a 25% lift. It was crazy. Sometimes you get lucky. So here is his, and hopefully this works. We tested this morning. This is a video of him doing that painful question plus one thing promise. Here we go.
Let me ask you, have you ever in your adult life looked in the mirror and thought, wow, I thought things would be different. I thought things would be better by now. Well, if you have, you're not alone. But what if I told you there's one thing, just one thing that can make a shift so you realize this is the greatest time in history, in life, for you to prosper, make more money, and live abundantly.
Man, okay, so I can't hear that because of the way the audio is set up in here, but I already want to give Dean money just because he's so enthusiastic on camera. I've never seen anybody that good ever in my life. He is literally one of the best ever, period. Unbelievable, okay? Notice the framework, though, that he did. And I'm going to do it by memory because I couldn't hear the video because of the way our audio is set up in here. If I hear it, then you won't be able to hear it. It gets all weird. So I think he said, what was the scripting? Let me ask you a question. Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, is this it? Is this everything? Have you ever thought that maybe life would just give you more? And then, what if I told you there was this one thing that could, whatever it is, I forgot the dang script because it's been a while. That's the example of that framework. It's the painful question with the one thing promise, right? So those are your two openings. Either one of those are going to work great, right? Choose whichever one fits best for you and go forward. And that is how you do step one, okay? So pretty simple. By the way, I made notes of these, and if you want those notes, text notes to 858-239-1008. Man, you're fast on the draw. Look at that. It's like he's telepathic over there, that sassy dazzle. That's the name of our award-winning video editor. You know what it is. He's got the ratio. It's 49% sass and 51% dazzle is what it does it for him. Sassy dazzle, I tell you what. If you want these notes, text 858-239, or text notes to 858-239-1008. I'll send them to you. Okay, so here's step two. Because I know this is a lot to try to remember, right? So step two is now your intro. You got their attention. You did the open. They're like, okay, what's the one thing, right? Now we got to do the introduction. So we got two formulas. First one is, hey, I'm where you want to be. Right? That gets their attention. Like, hey, my name is Rick James, and I'm a multi-platinum multi-platinum record-selling musician. And if you want to be a multi-platinum record musician, you can listen to me too. Here's how that would be, right? Now, this copy is for a product that does not exist. So none of this that I'm saying on the screen is true here. I'm just literally doing this as an example, right? And so this is for the fictitious guitar product, right? So I'd say, now remember where we left off, right? I met a shy but powerful 83-year-old man who showed me the one thing that can transform anyone to an incredible blues player almost instantly. And then I say, but first, let me introduce myself, right? So now we're in the intro. Hang on, I got to get water. Thank God for video editing, man. You got to please edit me losing my voice out of our finished product here. Okay. So the copy goes, but first, let me introduce myself. My name is Frank Kern, and ever since I learned that one thing, I've been able to sit in on stage with any live blues band and play a solo during any song in any key, even if I've never heard it before. And then, hey, if we were being really fancy, I might show some footage of me playing, like really demonstrate that I could do it. That is, if I was actually a real guitar player, which I'm not. I'm just giving you example concepts here. And so now I would go on, right? Imagine being in a bar with your friends or on a date and then mysteriously vanishing, only to appear on stage, sitting in with a band and peeling the paint off the walls with a solo that leaves everyone's jaw on the floor. Okay, so that's an example of, hey, I'm where you want to be right now. I can actually do it. The second formula is the listing of accomplishments, right? And Dean does this one, right? So I'm going to show you this one.
Hi, I'm Dean Graziosi. I'm a multiple New York Times best-selling author, businessman, success coach, been on TV for over 16 years, and I'm the author of the brand new book, Millionaire Success Habits. This thing is on fire. In a minute, I want to share with you how you can have it for free today, just for a limited time offer.
So, what did he do? He said, hey, my name's Dean Graziosi, and I'm a New York Times best-selling author. He showed the picture of the books. He said, I've got this book, and apparently the book is literally on fire, so he better drop it like it's hot. You're welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Right, that right there is beautiful humor. That's what happens when you've been teaching you're on your fourth hour and you haven't had any food. You think that's funny. I think it's funny. Anyway, okay, so those are your two open formulas, right, or your two intro formulas. Really simple. Hey, I'm Frank Kern, and I'm a really good guitar player, etc. Or, hey, here's all my accomplishments. Either one of those work really, really well. Okay? Now, the third part is now the story, right? This is called a story-based VSL, and there's a lot more work that goes into the story, and there's a formula for it, and I'm going to teach it to you. Okay? So the story part has multiple steps. Step one is you want to go, it wasn't always like this. Okay? Step two is you say, I had a dream. Step three is now you tell the story of your struggle in trying to accomplish that dream. Step four is you tell how you discovered the one powerful thing. Step five is you tell what it's like now. So basically, this is like a hero's journey type of story where I used to suck, wanted it to be real good. It was really hard to get real good. I made a discovery, and now things are really good, right? That's kind of the basis of the story. So let me walk you through it, okay? So this is me, again, giving you copy for this completely fictitious, non-existent guitar product here. Like so many kids, I wanted to be a guitar player. I'd listen to guys like Stevie Ray Vaughan and Buddy Guy and imagine that was me playing their solos. right? So this is where I'm saying that I wanted the big result, okay? But it wasn't always like this, right? So I wasn't always a good player. When I was a kid, I listened to people and I wished I was, okay? And no matter how much I practiced, I sounded nothing like them, okay? This is me telling the story. So I've told the beginning and I told the dream. I always wanted to sound like these guys, and now I'm saying the story. I remember answering a classified ad for a garage band that covered blues songs. They needed a guitar player, so I went and auditioned. They actually laughed at me. I remember playing in open mic nights in little bars and being so nervous that I played the entire solo in the wrong key. I have literally been laughed off the stage, and I've literally been too shy and embarrassed to play. And I started to think, maybe it's just something that some people are born with. Maybe I don't have enough talent. Maybe I should give this up. So if you feel stuck in a rut, or you're intimidated to play in front of people, or if you just want to go from good to amazing, I know how you feel, and I've been there too, right? So I'm telling in this one little chunk here, it wasn't always like this, right? By saying I always wanted to be a guitar player is insinuating that I wasn't always a guitar player, right? I had a dream, right, which is I always wanted to sound like these guys. So I kind of accomplished those two things in that one sentence. The story of struggle is very clear. Laughed off stage, laughed out of the audition, etc. Okay? So here we go. On with the story. And that's why I took that trip to Mississippi that one summer. I was hoping I'd get some inspiration or something, anything that would help me play better, and that's when I met him. His name was Nehemiah Wade. He was 83 years old. He didn't even have a guitar when I met him. He was sitting in a rocking chair outside a gas station I stopped at. Now, this is where I'm beginning the story of discovering the one thing. He asked me where I was from, probably because I had out-of-town plays, and asked me what I was doing in Mississippi. So I told him, I'm here to learn how to play blues guitar. He asked me who my favorite players are, and I told him, Fred McDowell, B.B. King, you know, the classics. That's when he shared it with me. He said, you know all them boys are doing the same thing, don't you? I told him I didn't, and I asked him what he meant, and that's when he showed me. Turns out, gas station belonged to his son, and he turned his head toward the door and yelled, Jimmy, bring me my guitar. His son Jimmy brought it out in an old beat-up case. He opened it, pulled out his guitar, and said, name one. I said, B.B. King, been downhearted. He played the solo to it right there on the spot. But it wasn't note for note. Anyone can memorize where to put their fingers if they practice long enough. No, this was different. It was like the solo to the song, just not note for note. It was more fluid and effortless. It had that B.B. King sound, like I was sitting there with B.B. King himself, and he just kind of started playing the solo off the top of his head. After that, I'd asked him if he'd teach me. I don't know why he agreed, but he did. And it really was one thing. And that one thing is a simple pattern of just 4 notes in any key. And once you know the pattern and how to change it up, you can sound like anyone. Now notice what I've done there. I told the story of struggle, and now I've begun and really pretty much completed the discovery of the one thing. And in this case, the one thing is the story of the one thing is this 4-note pattern, which may or may not exist. Again, I'm totally pulling this out of the air, right? So this is example copy, okay? So now I'm leading into section 5. So that's what I did. I modeled how I used that one thing and started playing just like whoever I wanted to sound like on the spot. I couldn't believe it worked. I mean, I'm the guy who literally got laughed off the stage. I'm the guy who tried lessons before and actually ended up playing worse. Now, you see where I have these things in all caps, where I'm saying overcoming or acknowledging common objection or fear? If your story can also be something that's very relatable to a fear they have, then you damn sure better include it, right? So if someone wants to, their dream is to be a blues guitar player and play on stage, and their big fear is that they'll get laughed off stage. If you've got something where you were laughed off stage and you overcame that, you better tell it, right? Because now you have a common fear, and that's going to increase your bond with them, right? I do it twice there. Another one is taking lessons and having them actually make you play worse. That can actually happen because you try to get too technical in your playing and you play from your head instead of from your gut is where you should play, and that kind of music anyway. I'm the guy who, no matter how much I practice my scales, just cannot play fast if my life depended on it. And that's another thing with guitar players, right? So if you're a guitar player, you know, you practice scales a million times, and it gets hard to play the damn things fast, and no one ever plays as fast as they want to. So you really need to bond with your audience here. So here we go, I'll continue. But there I was, sweating in the Mississippi sun, playing blues with Nehemiah Wade, an 83-year-old retired mailman who spent his days at his son's gas station. Now, here we go in step number 5. This is where I'm segueing into step number 5 here. Fast forward to today, and I can sit in with any band in town, not because I ask, but because they invite me. I never have to audition for gigs because bands call me. I can't tell you how cool it is to be able to play the notes that you hear in your head instantly without even thinking about it. And the pride you feel when people clap their hands and stomp their feet, demanding an encore from you is amazing. Or maybe it's the way your kids look at you when they hear you play, seeing you transform from parent to star. No matter what drives you to want to play blues, this one thing is the key. Now, in that story and in your story, you need to hit emotional triggers because man does not ever operate on logic. We are emotional creatures. We are completely illogical and in many cases completely insane, right? So emotion drives every decision, just about, right? We can say it's logic, but ultimately it's driven by some kind of an emotion. So for the emotion of pride, I mean, what is a guy who wants to learn how to play guitar on stage? Does he want to feel pride? Of course. And significance? Of course. Why else would you want to stand on stage, right? I've never had to audition because bands call me. I'm hitting that pride emotion trigger. Here's another one, pride. I can sit in with any band in town, not because I ask, but because they invite me. When you ask any, guitar player, musician, like, hey, dude, would it be cool if, like, I don't know, whoever, the Police came in town and they asked you to sit in on drums with them? Like, hell yeah, it'd be cool, right? So everyone would have that. That's a very relatable emotion for that market. Fulfillment, right? So musicians, at least the ones I know, would really love to be able, so every musician always has stuff going on in their head, like melodies you can create in your head, and it's amazing, and you're like, shit, if I could actually play what's in my head, it'd be great. So that type of fulfillment is what we're trying to trigger here, able to play the notes in your head instantly without even thinking about it. Significance is another very powerful emotion, when people clap their hands and stomp their feet, demanding an encore from you. Emotional connection, or maybe it's the way your kids look at you when they hear you play, seeing you transform from parent to star. Identity shift, by the way. So like I taught in Mass Control, which some of you might have, I released it years ago and I never re-released it. It was amazing, very, very good training. I taught you that a lot of reasons people buy things is because they really are buying a new identity, right? When the, pot-bellied, balding, 40-year-old divorcee goes out and buys the convertible Ferrari, he's not buying a race car. He's buying a new identity as an available bachelor who is cool. Right? And I know I'm playing into a bit of a stereotype there, but really we kind of buy everything so we can step into the identity that we want outside of basic survival stuff, right? Like if I go out and I buy some chicken or something, I'm shifting into a new identity of dude who eats chicken just because I like chicken. But with a lot of products, especially like an information product or anything really that's kind of an elective type of thing to buy, a lot of it's 100% stepping into new identity driven. Right? That's why advertising, so much image advertising and brand advertising uses celebrities, right? Like it'd be really hard to sell, Tom Ford clothes or whatever if all the models were great big fat slobby trucker dudes who are picking their nose, right? It's like, I don't really want to be that guy. But they use famous people, right? It's kind of basic, obvious stuff, but we forget it. You can do that transference of identity and that appeal to the desired identity through story. See Mass Control for more, right? So those are the emotional triggers we're trying to hit. Now, watch how Dean does it. Let's see if I can not mess this up and make it play. And he does this so fast, right? But watch.
Let me just tell you, I understand what it's like to want more, to dream of more, but think maybe it's just not meant for me. Recently I went to upstate New York in the tiny town I grew up in, and I kind of went down memory lane. I took my cell phone and I went and videoed the trailer I lived at with my mom when we were kids, and she worked 2 jobs to make $90 a week. I went to the house where I literally lived in a bathroom with my dad for an entire year. A little electric heater, plugged in every night, freezing, literally living in a tiny bathroom. I went to a garage I worked in that, with a little wood stove working on cars. And I remember thinking, maybe this is the best I have. Maybe there is no more. Maybe the economy's not set for me, or I didn't grow up with money and I didn't go to college and I don't have connections. I remember all those things, and then I had an epiphany. One day it hit me and I realized that people with money, people that were happy, people that were successful, who lived an abundant life had something different than I had. It was one thing. They shifted their habits. I'm not talking about the 180, I should say, like a New Year's resolution. Just these tiny little differences in how they thought and the things they did. And when I started modeling them, I became a millionaire in my 20s. I retired my parents, took care of my family, took care of my friends, hired people. I know what it's like to get money out of the way and have the cars and the house of my dreams and fly on private jets and speak around the world to 10, 20,000 people at a time and meet my heroes. But I also know what the definition, for me at least, is of true success. And that's the ability to coach Little League and play with my kids in the park in the afternoon and to be in the best shape of my life, to be the dad I want to be.
Nailed it. So perfect, right? But if you look at that, and if you watch that, and you look at my outline of steps, he followed it absolutely to the letter. It wasn't always like this. Had a dream, wanted to be successful. Here's my story of struggle. Grew up, showed the little houses, lived in the bathroom, and all of that kind of stuff, right? Made the discovery. Here's where I am now. Perfect. 100% right there according to the formula. All of that's true, by the way. There's no embellishment or anything like that. The guy's so freaking good. He just, boom, right off the top of the head. No script, nothing. It's amazing, right? But that's it, right? So there's two examples of using that story in selling. Now, if we look at his emotional triggers that he's hitting, number one, pride and accomplishment. I became a millionaire in my 20s. Number two, obligation, reciprocity, and pride based on family values. He retired his parents. He took care of his family. He took care of his friends. Now, that could even play into an identity shift, you know, where if someone wants to step into the identity of being the hero of the family or the hero of the community, he is showing and telling about the symbols of wealth. I know what it's like to get money out of the way and have the cars and the house of my dreams and fly on private jets. And then there is the appeal to significance and speak around the world to 10,000 and 20,000 people at a time and meet my heroes. And then there is the appeal to the emotion of wanting to take care of one's family and being a good parent and a good person. I know what the definition, for me at least, of true success, and that's the ability to coach Little League and play with my kids at the park. Then he hits the emotion of wanting to be healthy, showing that he's in the best shape of his life, and how he's sprinting up that mountain like a show-off, right? He actually does that, and he is a little bit of a show-off. I don't think he should be such a show-off. I think it's harder just to sit around in the mornings. That takes real skill, just to sit there and resist the urge to sprint up that mountain and to bravely sit and drink coffee and maybe watch Family Guy reruns. You want a hero, that's a hero, the man that has the guts to do that, to sit around and maybe have himself a little chocolate donut and some hot chocolate on top. That's what I'm talking about. Forget these pansies that sprint up mountains, little chocolate donuts. Keep America great. Wouldn't that be a nice little commercial there, right? So, beautiful use of story. You know, you guys are watching are probably like, Kern is out of his mind. But hey, you know, this is what happens. You don't have any food, you teach for 4 hours, you start getting a little crazy. Okay, so beautifully done there, right? That's how you do it. That is textbook right there, how you do it. You follow those 5 steps of the story. They've got to be true. Please don't make anything up, and be sure to hit the emotional triggers. So now we're on to step numero quattro, which is the bridge. And the bridge is a simple transition from story to pitch. And this is where people screw this up all the time, because they get freaked out. They go, oh my God, now I got to sell. Oh God, Jesus. Oh no, I'm going to sell. Everyone's going to get mad at me if I sell. Ain't anyone going to get mad at you if you sell. People love to buy things. Thank God. I mean, really, we have so much to be thankful for. And one of the things is that we live in a time where consumerism and the act of buying things is actually viewed as an accomplishment. Like, could it get any better for us? Really? And we have this unbelievable, like this huge, massive wave of opportunity, which is selling information online, right? It's unbelievable. Like, really? We get that? No way. And then we get the elimination of technical overwhelm through all these tools that make it simple for us to do. And then we get unbelievable access to reaching our ideal customers like from anywhere in the world through very simple, inexpensive advertising. And on top of that, just to put a little bow on the whole box of amazing, our culture dictates that if you buy lots of stuff, you win. Like, really? Could we have any more advantages? I mean, this is unbelievable, right? So please don't be afraid to sell. People like to buy things. People go on vacation to go shopping. They have shopping sprees. They like it. We like to buy stuff. We just don't like people to be buttholes to us when they're trying to sell stuff. That's all. It's got to be cool when you're trying to make the sale. So step number 4, the bridge, is transitioning from your story to a pitch, right? So here's some scripting on how to do it. Dean uses this one a lot. He, like, right after you've maybe said, like, you know, here's some solutions or whatever, he'll go, well, you know, solutions are great. We know wisdom is great. But without action, nothing happens. And I have something for you to take action on today. Boom. 3 sentences right there. Very, very simple, right? Here's another one. Look, you're watching today for a reason. Something in your life isn't perfect and you want more. So you know where you are. You probably know where you want to go. The only thing left is how are you going to get there? Today you have that chance to grab the roadmap that shows you exactly how. Right? It's another transition. That's when you say, and that roadmap is called the super duper thing 3000. Okay? Here's another one. This is me scripting for the guitar thing. Hey, if you're watching this, you're probably just like me. Someone who loves guitar, loves the blues, and just wants to play great solos with confidence and style. And that's why I think you're going to love. And now we go into the introduction of the product. So the bridge is no big deal, but you got to have it, right? And you got to do it with confidence, and you can't be weirded out because you shouldn't be weirded out. Whatever you have helps people, right? Like I wasn't weirded out when I told you I'm going to give you Info Business Blueprint for free if you join Kern Inner Circle, because if you do it, I know you're going to be real happy. Nothing weird about making people happy in my book, right? I'll do that all day, every day. No problem. So don't be afraid. People condition, oh, you shouldn't sell anything. Don't worry about it. People like to buy things. If you can help them, sell your heart out, man. You should, right? You should help people. That's why else would you have the ability to help if you're not supposed to use it? Okay, so don't squander that. So here's how Dean does this transition, right? He really kind of does it a little bit off script here, but he still does it perfectly. So check it out.
I don't know what your definition of success is, but I want to tell you here and now, the thing that's standing between you and the life you deserve, that next level, that reaching the full potential, is the habits you have. And that's why I wrote Millionaire Success Habits.
Boom. There you go. That was it, right? Actually, he did that perfect to script. It's the pitch at the end that's not 100% to script. And the reason I included it is because I don't want you to think you have to be 100%. I keep looking at the wrong camera, sorry. That you have to be 100% to script. So let's talk about the actual pitch, right? So here's the pitch. The formula and the framework for making a pitch is, here's what I got, here's what it will do for you, here's what I want you to do next. I mean, that's really the overarching framework on how to do a pitch. So if I were doing the guitar thing, I would have segued in, hey, if you're watching this, you're just like me, you probably just want to play blues with heart and soul and enjoy yourself. And then I'd say, and today you have the chance to get the one thing that can do it better than anything else. It's the solo system, and it takes the one thing that allows you to play soul-melting blues solos almost instantly and transplants it into your playing, just like Nehemiah Wade transplanted it into mine. Here's how it'll make you sound amazing. Now look, what I just do right there. Today you have a chance to get the one thing that can help you do it better than anything else. It's the solo system. What's that? Here's what I got. This little section right here, here's how it'll make you sound amazing, is here's what it will do for you, right? The system is simple. You can go through it in a day and be playing solos before dinner. In it, I show you the 4-note pattern first. That takes about 10 minutes to really learn. Then I show you all the variations on the pattern, the B.B. King style, the Stevie Ray Vaughan style, the Albert Collins style, and all the rest of the greats. Once you see me walk you through this, you'll instantly get it because your playing will become instinctive instead of something you actually have to think about. And finally, I'm giving you recorded jam sessions where we play along together. I've created backing tracks for you to solo over, and there's 2 versions of each track. One version is just the backing track, so you can do all the solos yourself. The second version is where I'll play a few bars of solo, then it leaves space for you to play a few bars, and we continue to trade off just like we were cutting heads down in Mississippi. Doing this makes you master the technique much faster because you can see how I play my part and then model the approach. The bottom line is if you really want to play solid blues that makes people take notice and yell for more, this is what you want. And that's why you need to get this today. This entire system is normally $94, but if you order before the timer on this page hits 0, you can have it for half off. That's one simple payment of $47. So click the link on this page and get yours right away. So what we had there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 entire sentences was the here's what I got, here's what it'll do for you. So look, here's what I got. All of this is here's what it'll do for you. All of this is here's what it'll do for you until the very last sentence, which is here's what I want you to do next. That's it. Here's what I got. Here's what it will do for you. Here's what I want you to do next. I learned that framework from John Carlton, who I absolutely love, and it changed my life. Because writing copy used to be absolutely horrible, and creating offers would freak me out. And he was like, dude, God, you're so weird. 3 things. Here's what I got. Here's what it'll do for you. Here's what I want you to do next. I was like, thanks, John, got to go. Went and wrote copy. It worked. It's like, all right, dude, see ya. I got to go. And it was great, right? So I've never, ever strayed from that framework. It always has worked for me. And it just makes selling like a simple process, right? So here's how Dean does it. And in this time, he kind of, I think this is the part where we strays off script a little bit, but it's still so freaking good. I include it, A, because it's really good, and B, to show you that even if you sort of stray a little bit, as long as you do this with authenticity and enthusiasm, you're still going to do pretty good. So here's how my man Dean delivers that.
I took the habits that allowed me to go from that trailer park to generating hundreds of millions of dollars through my brands and through my company. And now I get to change people's lives all over the world, and I want to change yours. So for a limited time, if you'll cover the shipping and handling, the exact cost of shipping and handling, I'll send you the hardcover of this book that's on fire. People are going nuts over it.
You should really drop it like it was hot if it's on fire, Dean. Okay, so it wasn't 100% descriptive, but it's still pretty close. All right, and finally, what we want to do is we want to add some bonuses. You don't have to, but in my opinion, you're going to get more sales if you do than if you didn't, so you might as well, right? So the rule here is always have them, no exceptions. So here's how I present the bonuses in this imaginary guitar product. So I've just told them, hey, they're going to get 50% off, right? And so now I'm presenting the bonus. And if the 50% discount isn't enough to push you over the edge, this will. When you order today, I'm also going to send you my latest program, Bottleneck Breakdown. This takes the one thing and uses it on slide guitar solos. The same 4-note system applies, so it's just as simple as instructive. In this system, I'll show you how to sound like Dwayne Allman, Derek Trucks, John Lee Hooker, Muddy Waters, Warren Haynes, and more. Plus, you're getting the same type of backing tracks where you can practice your solos on your own, or you and I can cut heads and trade off. And to make sure you get that killer sound, I'm also including an authentic Deep South medicine bottle slide, the same slide used by all the greats, free. So click the button below and get yours right away. The 50% discount and the free bonuses are gone once the timer hits 0, right? So that's just how you do it, right? You say, here's the next thing that you get. And notice I'm like trying to sell the bonus too. I'm building the value of the bonus. You don't just be like, hey, and you also get this as a bonus, and it sure is cool, so I hope you like it, right? No, you want to really present that value. So the bonus in and of itself would be worth the 47. Hell, you're getting the actual slide thingy, you know, and you're getting the training. None of this exists, by the way. It does sound cool. If only there was such a thing that existed, that'd be great. I would buy it, right? So here's how Dean does it. You ready?
But I wanted to make this irresistible. So you got to listen to a couple things because this is a limited time offer. My book, Totally Fulfilled. This is my first personal development book. It's a New York Times bestseller. If you'll click the link below right now and get Millionaire Success Habits, I'll send you this one for free as well today. And a couple more bonuses to make sure you don't miss out on this today. I did an exclusive interview with my buddy Tony Robbins on confidence, and it came out so unbelievable. This interview alone could change the course of your life. I'm including that today. Also, I'm doing a special webcast training with my top millionaire student. He went from machine shop worker to transforming his life, having his own business, thriving. The guy is unbelievable, and we want to share with you the strategies he's used and I've used to transform our lives financially. And we want to do it in a special webcast presentation. So when you get this book today, you'll get the invite to attend that online training. And lastly, to fulfill and help my buddy Tony Robbins with his mission to feed 100 million people. When you get the book today, for every book that we ship to you, I'm going to feed 20 people through Feeding America. So right now, you have the opportunity to get the wisdom in your hands, the habits that you can bump out habits that don't serve you with ones that can help you live a fulfilled, abundant, more wealthy life. At the same time, you'll get Totally Fulfilled, my New York Times bestseller. This sold for $29, both free. Just cover the shipping and handling. You'll get my interview with Tony Robbins, and you'll help people in need, because every time we ship these books, I'm going to feed at least 20 people through Feeding America. This is a limited time offer. Help me, help Tony Robbins feed 100 million people this year and get the best book I've ever created in your hands. But this offer is going away. So click the link below and let us ship this book to you right now.
Pretty good. A little bit off script with the charity thing, but still perfect, right? So a lot of people say, well, do I need to do a charity thing with my book? No, you don't have to. Not going to hurt. I think he just did it just to be cool. You know, why not? Hey, sounds pretty good. Feed 20 people every time you give a book away. Not a bad deal. But you don't have to include that, right? But follow that structure. You did the same structure, right? Here's the bonus. Here's what the bonus is worth. Here's how the bonus is going to help you. Repeating the call to action. So our final thing that we want to do is the last step, almost last step, is the risk reversal. And this is we want to reassure, connect, and repitch. Okay? Reassure, connect, and re-pitch. So there is kind of a little script that you want to follow here. So let me kind of walk, I'll do it and then I'll sort of tell you what I was doing. So, one more thing. I want to talk to the players. Now let me start over here so I can read it right. Oh, one more thing. I want to talk to the players out there who've tried everything and are still feeling stuck. The players who spent years taking lessons, the players who took the weekend retreats with the celebrity musicians, and the players who bought everything under the sun but still aren't where they want to be. I know exactly how you feel. I did all that stuff too. Heck, I was so desperate. I drove all the way to Mississippi in the middle of the summer where I didn't know a single person, just hoping I'd get lucky. And I want you to know that I got your back. You'll know if this is for you or not within the first 10 minutes of seeing it. For most people, it clicks for them right away, but I don't want you to feel rushed. Try it out for a full month, and if you don't sound amazing, let me know and I'll refund every penny. So you can't go wrong here. This really is the one thing that can take your playing to a new level fast, and I guarantee it'll work just like I say, or I'll give you back your money. So get yours right now. Remember, you're saving 50% and you're getting the bottleneck breakdown, plus I'm sending you an authentic Deep South medicine bottle slide for free. Now, remember, we reassure, we reconnect, and we repitch. So in the reassuring, look what I'm doing. I'm talking to their objections and reassuring them that I understand. So players who have tried everything and they're still feeling stuck, that's an objection. So I'm reassuring them that I understand that position and this is still okay. Oh man, but I've spent years taking lessons, I still can't play well. Well, that's objection number 2, right? The players who spent years taking lessons, I'm reassuring. The players who took the weekend retreats with the celebrity musicians, and the players who bought everything under the sun, but still aren't where they want to be, right? That's objections 3 and 4. So I'm reassuring every single time, right? Now I'm reconnecting. I know exactly how you feel. I did all that stuff too. Heck, I was so desperate I drove all the way down to Mississippi in the middle of the summer where I didn't know a single person, just hoping I'd get lucky. I'd probably change that to say just hoping I'd learn to play better, because it could have other connotations. Hey, but hey, what happens in Mississippi stays in Mississippi. And I want you to know that I've got your back, right? So that's where you reconnect. And now we're repitching. So you can't go wrong here. This really is the one thing that can take your playing to a new level fast. And I guarantee it'll work, just like I say, or I'll give you back your money. So get yours right now. Remember, you're saving 50% and you're getting bottleneck breakdown. Plus, I'm sending you an authentic Deep South medicine bottle slide for free. So I just repitch it and I tell them to click the button one more time. So that is really the framework of how you create an amazingly effective story-based video sales letter. In fact, it doesn't even have to be limited to a video sales letter. It could be actual plain old regular copy. Plain old regular copy written on a pad and paper, sent in the mail or put on one of them websites or whatever. But if you've been feeling stuck and you want to make a pitch that works really well, that right there. If you want the notes from this and you want the notes from today's earlier thing, text the word notes to 1-858-239-1008. And this concludes today's training. Man, we went a little bit over schedule. I really was worried this whole time that I would go too fast. I always do this. I'm like, God, I hope I have enough content to fill the time slots. And then I ended up going long, but I sure don't mind. I'm glad that you found this helpful if you did. And for everyone who joined the Inner Circle, thank you so much for doing that. I want to recap that offer to you right now. First of all, as a free gift just for joining, right now today I'm going to give you 2 things. Number 1, I'm going to give you the Info Business Blueprint training that sells on my site right now for $2,997. It's been on my site for $2,997 for a year. I've sold it in the past for $2,860. I've also sold it at discounted offers on webinars and automated campaigns for $2,000. Never just given it away for free. You can get it free today when you join the Kern Inner Circle. You also get the recordings to the Alchemy event that was freaking awesome. The name kind of says it all. The purpose of the Alchemy event was to learn how to convert strangers into customers. And it was just me teaching how to do that for 2 full days. I spent about 50 grand recording it, editing it, and then I got so completely involved in supporting and growing my Inner Circle that I never released it. And I may never release it, but I would love for you to have it because I know it will help you. And you can have that instantly today, absolutely free as well, when you join the Inner Circle. And the reason you should join Inner Circle is this. Listen, you've probably taken courses before, right? I have, and I'm glad I did. But do they really create lasting change? I don't think they do. I think they give you a really good jump start. It's like putting nitrogen in your, nitrous in your race car. It goes, woo, you go real fast, and then you run out of nitrous and you go kind of slow. What we really need to have lasting change is constant reinforcement and community. Think about it this way. Arguably, one of the greatest books ever written is the Bible, right? So if someone wants to change their life and change their habits and have a different standard of living, one really solid piece of advice might be like, well, dude, Try reading the Bible and do what that says. And you know what? The person, they might go out and they might get the Bible and they might read it and they might have, for a couple weeks or a month or whatever, they're doing pretty good. And pretty soon, they might fall back into old habits and old ways of thinking, and they might end up less sappy than they were, and they might end up back at square one, and they might lose that momentum. Not the Bible's fault. It is the nature of all of us, right? That's why we have church, okay? Why do people go to church every Sunday if they're preaching from the same book every single time? It's because just reading the book or taking the course one time, yeah, it's really helpful. It's better than doing nothing. It's going to get you something. It's probably going to do a lot better than if you didn't do it. But for lasting change and to really see transformation, you need that focus. You need to be surrounded with like-minded people. You need constant updates. You need constant refreshers, right? You need a constant influx of goodness coming into your mind and into your life. And in the concept of business and within the framework of marketing and selling online in a way that is fun and friendly and effective, that's exactly what being a member of the Kern Inner Circle is like. It is constant reinforcement and focus and the delivery of satisfaction, confidence, and capabilities to you as a member. So that's really what we do. No, we're not a religious organization, but I think that analogy is really very, very accurate. We can get a lot of benefit from one book, but if we have continuous interaction with like-minded individuals where we are led by someone who's very experienced and we have that constant reinforcement, we can achieve transformation, and it can be very, very powerful. So if you've enjoyed what we've talked about today, and if you sat to yourself, you said, man, I'm going to try that, or God, I wish I'd have known that sooner, or man, I can't wait to do that, or if you saw me show you like, oh, you could sell this type of information product, and here's how this one works, and here's how this works, and you're excited about doing it, and you want to keep that enthusiasm, and you want to keep that focus, and you don't want to do the shiny object stuff anymore, and you don't want to be distracted anymore, and you don't want to feel overwhelmed anymore, and you want somewhere to turn to when you need help, and you want someone to celebrate the victories with you, I invite you to join us. We're a very happy group of people that get tremendous results and help each other every single day. Go to joinfrankkern.com. I'll give you all the gifts we spoke about. Of course, you can have the final product, the final edited version of the product I've been recording yesterday and today, and we'll continue recording tomorrow. Again, as a gift, no one else is going to get that. I'll sell it later, but of course you can have it when you join the Inner Circle. So I strongly urge you to join that right now. Go to joinfrankkern.com right now, and I will see you tomorrow. So tomorrow morning, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you, first of all, the big money back end. So there are 4 different models that you can sell that involve much higher tickets that go perfectly with a book funnel. So if you want to be really, really fancy, I'm going to show you how to do it. It's simple, but it's really cool. So the way it works is, we showed you how to do book funnel today, so I kind of just pretend like, imagine this is the book funnel, right? So yesterday and today, book funnel, information products, Slack adjuster. Remember then I said there's like the 10x money multiplier? That's what I'm going to show you tomorrow. The business models that contribute to that. No, it's not these individual books. I'm just trying to show it as like little blocks. Probably doesn't make sense to me doing that. But that's what I'm going to show you tomorrow, first thing. Second thing, tomorrow, I'm still really up in the air. I could do 2 things for you, and I'll decide tonight. Number 1 is I could show you the 7 habits that will give you financial freedom forever as it relates directly to direct response people like ourselves. It has nothing to do with like set goals, wake up early in the morning or anything like that. It's specifically related to marketing and sales. The second thing I could show you is a review of all of the closing stack technologies that I used during my presentations today. How to reposition offers, and even as I'm telling you that, I think I want to show you that tomorrow. I think I kind of want to end with that one. But I'll decide, and who knows, maybe we'll go hog wild crazy and we'll do it all, kind of like we did today. Look forward to seeing you in the morning. We start same time, 11 o'clock in the morning tomorrow on a Sunday of all days. And I'll see you then.
Para ser avisado de quando sair vídeo novo aqui no canal, se inscreva e ative as notificações. E caso queira uma sessão de consultoria para te ajudar a implementar essa estratégia ou alguma outra, basta entrar no carlosmorais.com e enviar o formulário de aplicação. E não esquece de deixar a tua sugestão de assunto para os próximos vídeos na seção de comentários. Então até a próxima!